Hello.
Yes.
Hell, Joe.
Yes.
Check.
What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 147. I am your host, Anthony Trapani, and as always, I am joined by a few resident homies. Got a couple with me tonight. I got Casey Howard on my left and Jill Horner on my right. It might be different for how you're seeing it, but that's my view. What up, y'all?
What's up?
Missed you guys. It's been like 3 weeks.
What's happening?
Dude? And dude, tonight we are joined by almost full Narcotic Wasteland lineup and all return guests, by the way. They've all been on separate episodes and we've gathered them onto one episode, and I love
I feel like I was just here.
we were just talking pre-pod. I think Kenji's got the record for the smallest gap between episodes, so Kenji, we'll make a trophy for you the later date. But what up? We got Joseph Howard, Dallas, and fucking Kenji from Narcotic Wasteland. What's going on, guys? I'm very stoked about tonight, dude. Stoked to have all of you back on. Stoked to have Dallas. All you got, dude. This is amazing. And but before we get into that, let's do some plugs real quick. We got the usual Battle Forge coffee at the top. It's the homies. It's our brothers. They sell coffee. It's good coffee. They sell merchandise. Support the underground. That is where every brutal death metal fan should be getting their coffee from. And if you want to get a couple of t-shirts from us to support the show, you go to calideathpodcast.bigcartel.com. Like I said, a couple t-shirts, full color. We got the logo. That's all money that goes into basically getting more merch eventually, but that's how you support us. That's the only financial way you can support this this show. And then how you can financially support. Oh wait, no, before we get into them, GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com. That is where, if you're in the SoCal area, you should be going and practicing, performing, and writing your music.
Oceanside, California. Yes.
There it is. And you might run into that handsome face down there, Casey Howard.
Paroxysmal Butchering just did a live stream from there.
A
few weeks ago. Yeah. So
nice, dude.
And, other bands that I can't think of at the moment, but yes.
Go rent a place, do live streams from there, and then tell us about it. And is that any? We don't have tour. Well, Joseph's still out in
Germany.
Europe. Crazy globe trotting.
He did the prophecy.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I was wondering where Joseph was.
Yeah, was it Prophecy Fest he did? It was out there in some cave or something, and
it was in a cave. Yeah, it was tight.
Yeah, that was sick. I saw the videos and stuff. It looked pretty epic.
Yeah.
That was with Illudium. He was performing with. He plays bass for them, right?
You guys ever played a show in a cave?
No, but I'm super jealous to even know that is a thing, and I haven't done it yet. I wonder what the sound is
Joseph, my regards, bros.
Hell yeah. I wonder what the sound's like in a cave.
A little cavey.
For a second.
Probably.
Here he is.
There he is.
Oh, of course. It's on my end. Damn it. Okay. Should be good now. I've signed over to the Wi-Fi, so I'm good now.
Oh, cool.
No, it's all good. Yes.
So where do you guys plug
some
narcotic merch? Or are you guys going on? You guys just got off tour, right? Are you guys going back out anytime soon? All that fun stuff.
Yeah, we just got done doing 3 weeks, and basically what's going on is we're going to release one more single, finish up the album, and it's looking like we'll probably head back out on the road like maybe next springtime or May or something like that.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people buy your merch again?
At narcoticwasteland.com.
Easy enough. I like that.
Yep.
Main hub.
It's not like / something or hyphenated something. It's just boom.
No, as soon as we decided the name, however many years it was, I was like, yeah, we need to snag that.
Yeah,
Go ahead and get it going, you know, so that way we got it secured.
Hell yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Well, that's the main hub you need to go to support Narcotic Wasteland. And yeah, dudes, it's really cool to have you all back on. And it's funny because Joseph, you were with Narcotic at the time, but we were just, you know, digging in on you as a person. All of you, really, we never really got to sit down with Kenji individually. Maybe we'll have a part 3 with Kenji soon, because I'd like
to see if I can break my record again.
You should, because you are a dude that I'd love to dig into. I want to know your past, so we'll eventually get to that, but this is a Narcotic Wasteland episode. So but yeah, dude, tell us, dudes, let's hear about your recent run before we get into anything else. You guys freshly just did some shows, so I want to know about it.
Yeah, I was sick, man. We did Vegas up to Canada. We did a sick metal fest in Canada, in Drumheller, Canada, called Loud as Hell Fest. And then we did a few more nights in Canada, then came back down into the States for a second, did a few shows. I'm trying to remember where, like Sioux Falls, like Biggs Bar in South Dakota, where they do the Slam Dakota Fest. And then we went back up and did Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And then not Alberta, Ottawa. Yeah, Montreal, Ottawa.
Oh, yeah.
And then that was pretty much it. I think we ended in like Ohio or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the last show was at Howard's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. But yeah, we did.
It's in Bowling Green.
Bowling Green, Ohio. That's right.
That's right.
You're right.
Yep.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, man. It was, in my opinion, a pretty successful tour. You know, I felt that Narcotic never really got too much of a chance to get out the way we kind of needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, since the whole pandemic and the horrible Twilight Zone episode, everybody had to live there for a while. We came out kind of swinging, you know, and was able to do more shows than any time in history of the band. So it kind of worked out, and we've just been kind of trying to keep the pressure on and keep putting out some material.
So talk about, you have a single coming out, right? So when is that new single coming out?
Don't know yet. We did have a single come out before the tour called Sex, Lies, and DNA.
Yep.
And we're actually in the process of, we're going to have a video for it. So we're in the process of getting kind of the video together. But we have another single that we're going to release. And actually, Kenji just sent some of the coolest bass lines I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited
Nice.
I'm very excited for people to hear the next one too, because
I don't doubt it. I've seen Kenji live, and that guy's a maniac. Like, he's not even on the show right now. I'm talking about. No, but it is true. Like,
I'm just basking in my glory.
That bass though.
Basket.
I've known Nate from Ontogeny for several years, and I know that he's very meticulous in who he works with. And when I heard about Kenji coming on board, that's when I started paying attention to him. And then I witnessed Kenji, and I realized, like, you just grabbed a, don't blush, Kenji, but you just grabbed a gold mine right there, and a bass player, because that dude is ready for anything. Keep
it coming. I'm enjoying it. Keep it coming.
well, yeah, I can definitely add. Kenji's first recording debut was on the latest single, "Sex, Lies, DNA," and not only can he, do what I'm doing, but also is adding a whole new kind of element sometimes when he adds in kind of his flavor to it. And it makes total musical sense, and it adds another sort of layer, but also another. It elevates the song instead of just going along with it, which is cool. That sometimes works too, but Kenji's really adding something special to the band, in my opinion.
Totally, dude. And not to denounce you, either one of Dallas or Joseph's playing on that song, because you guys all are phenomenal on that song. But there was something that was happening while I was listening to it that I ended up being pulled back to Kenji at certain times, because there's certain riffs in that song that Kenji is enhancing so much with his playing. And I've watched Kenji enough on videos and live stuff too that I'm seeing how he plays those riffs, and I'm just like, yeah, dude, this is amazing. Because, dude, you guys channeled like, and I don't know if this is what you're trying to do, but a lot of I felt like some Legion era Deicide elements to that song.
Nice.
Am I getting on to the same kind of path that you guys were thinking like that? I was feeling some early sick Deicide vibes.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't really necessarily challenging that. If anything, Sex Lies DNA for me is very thrash. Like,
yeah, it has that vibe for sure.
But at the same time, you say that like early death metal was a little more on the thrashy side, particularly like I just did a interview with Rigs of Death Metal, and he asked me to talk about like 5 influential death metal albums, even though I'm more of a thrash punk guy. And Deicide Legion actually did come up. And, but yeah, it does have that kind of ferocity to it. But one of my favorite like thrash mixes was probably like, I don't know, Under the Influence, an Overkill with Dee Dee Verni's bass is a little distorted, but it's really clinky and it's really present. You know what I mean?
And that may be me, hearing those elements that you're talking about, where you're taking your influence being channeled through Deicide. And I'm not saying it was anywhere near a duplicate or trying to. I was just talking about the vibe of certain parts of that song would throw me back to there. And then it makes sense that early death metal at that time was way more influenced by thrash because it was so closer to that part of the evolution.
It came from it. Yeah. And then I got to shout out to Mr. Eric Scholtek because it's actually him on those drums.
Oh shit! Okay.
Oh hell yeah! Fuck yeah!
I just filmed my my playthrough though. Yeah. The official playthrough.
Is it on YouTube yet, or are you gonna put it out?
No. I'm still like mixing the audio.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So yeah, it'll be cool too. That'll be along with the main video, the main music video too.
Are you gonna be?
But it'll be my versions of the drums.
What about future singles? Is Joseph? Are you just gonna be the live guy? Or are you gonna be involved in
for this album? Yeah, it's already been said and done.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff has already been recorded, but once I finally get this godforsaken album out, that we've had to, I've had every possible like thing get in the way, whether it be COVID or lineup change or whatever the hell's going on. The thing has been kind of sitting there for like 3 years, almost complete, like many songs, and just one thing after another. You guys know how it is. So once we finally get through this, then I want to proceed forward with the lineup.
Have you entertained, Dallas? Because I know you guys do the single release and stuff like that. Have you entertained, because of the new climate of releasing music, of just doing maybe like a single at a time until the album's done, and then doing just releasing it all as one? Or because I know a lot of people, I'm seeing bands do that more, where they'll maybe release 2 songs at a time or a song at a time until the album's complete, because of the whole streaming being the the way people 90% of people are now listening to music. Has that ever kind of entered across you?
Well, yeah, and it ended up from a conversation that I was having with someone from Megaforce Distribution, and you know, it was just kind of picking their brain. It's like, you know, I've kind of got this thing, and you know, I can put the whole thing out. It still might be a little while before we can get all the pieces together. And what do you think about the single thing? And right now, you're just going to get more traction. And for instance, you're still going to have your, you know, avid collectors out there that really want the album experience, and of course, you want to give them that. But as far as just, you know, keeping traction and staying active, it's kind of like the old days with the singles and the 45s, you know, when I was a kid. So it's kind of, in a way, weirdly gotten back to that. And, you know, for instance, like one of the singles that we've released has more streams than an entire album of ours, just one song. So you just kind of have to milk the cow a little bit nowadays. And
one other at a time too.
Yeah, and I definitely understand the reservations of doing it that way, because, you know, back in the old days, or back in my Nile days, it was like, okay, we release an album and we go tour for that album for a couple of years, and then we release another album. And maybe there's a couple of singles that will release like a week before the album came out or something. But the more the industry kind of changes, we kind of have to roll with the punches a little bit. And the thing that I do enjoy about the whole single aspect is, if I write a song tomorrow night, I don't have to wait for an entire album to be finished. I can just put the damn thing out if I want to.
Yeah.
So there's the plus side of it. But I definitely understand the other side of the fact that I'm still an old school guy that likes to sit down with an entire album with a couple of beers and listen to the whole damn thing and just be like, yes. I do it all the time. You know, sometimes at night, you know, have a couple of nightcappers and, you know, put on that old Sabotage record or whatever.
Right.
You know, it's like, that's just kind of my head, because I'm an old guy.
Hey,
I'm old school.
If that is being an old guy, I'm an old guy too, dude, because I still enjoy, like, when somebody puts something out, I still believe that who's putting it out is compiling this album and sculpting it the way that they want it to be, the track listings and the order that they want it to be. And, you know, a lot of times when you listen to albums, everything connects in a one linear situation.
I love that so much too. Yeah.
And so with like singles, it makes me feel like I don't have all the puzzle pieces to the puzzle, you know.
I think that the distinction is that, because I got confused about this too, and I was talking to Joel about it actually recently, and I was kind of like, I don't get, and it's like, well, like the singles are still on the album, right? You know, so you still put out the album. It's more about like how the singles are presented, not as like a quick little trailer precursor to the full length. They're more like they're like put out like a year before the full length or something, you know, like and they're like advertised in a different way. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that like kind of the idea? Is it's more like the singles are not like exclusive like releases that you have to like only get the single to hear that song. It's going to be on the album, but the album is just released like more later than just like couple months before or something. Is that right, Joel? Or like, how are you?
I mean, sorry, I was doing three things at once.
That's cool.
I've just noticed that like bands that like have been like there's certain bands that they'll release like a bunch of like what you're saying, kind of like the 45-inch, or what was the size of the record?
for our generation it was singles.
Cassette singles. That's it. Yeah, the cassette single.
Yeah. And it's funny seeing those coming back. I mean, sometimes because I collect, you know, like vinyl that I don't really open, but because I'm a tech nerd, so I'm just like, if I want to hear it, but I want to like have the physical copy to like have it and look at it and stuff, and it makes me just like stoked. I have no idea why. I just kind of like the big piece of art on there, and it just kind of brings the whole thing back to me.
I don't even have a record player, and I'm jealous of your Spastic Ink.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see something else. I'll have to get this like immediately. I'll have to like, you know, so this is like a rare thing for sale. Like I want the rare thing. I don't know. I have that kind of collector in me, but there's bands that will release 2 songs, and then they'll make a vinyl out of it, and they'll make merch over it, and then they'll be like, boom,
like
and
Zenith Passage.
Totally. For the death metal, that's definitely, I think, one of the only bands I've seen do it. And then they'll do, there's other bands that have done it too. But like, and then they'll release another 2 songs, then merch. So it'll be like 4 songs total, plus a vinyl for each of those 2 songs, and merch release for each of those 2 songs. And then they'll release the big splash album with 12 songs on it, and then they'll have merch for that.
But those songs are on the album.
Yeah, they're on the album, but there's other parts to it and other puzzle pieces, like kind of like Anthony was alluding to, that you can still. So it's basically like you release, like 8 merch items before the album, or and then the album comes out, and then you're just like, boom, album. It's like, so it's basically trying to capitalize on people. I mean, I'm buying into it, but it's because there's no physical world anymore. It feels like. I mean, there is, but it's just dying. And CD, like I've talked about it a million times. I got a new car. CD player's not in there. I got a $4,000 computer. There's no CD-ROM. There's no DVD player. It's like it's just like it's like completely going away from it. So,
it's a dying.
Yeah, they're weeding it out. And so, I mean, if there was a fucking laser disc that someone put out that of a band or a music video or something, I would buy that, because that would be cool to have a laser disc or something, an old format. But
then you got to get a laser disc player. I just clicked on the comments. Audio to the eyeballs. Sorry, we weren't paying attention to you, dude. He's wondering what's the single that you were talking about, Dallas, that got all the hits compared to the album?
Actually, all of them except for the first one we released, which was Morality and the Wasp. But we just kind of released that because it was supposed to be released a couple of years before that, and due to whatever bullshit that ended up happening, it just didn't happen.
You were mentioning one single that got more hits than a full album, though. What was the song that you were talking about?
Actually, it would be 2 songs now, but mostly Victims of the Algorithm.
Victims, that's what I think too.
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to have a little bit of money to push some PR on that as well, so that helped out a lot. And
they're all victims of algorithm. That's how we got them.
That's right.
Yeah. You used the algorithm.
We got them.
We got it. That's good.
Which, that was our first time, me and Joe working together writing a song. I'd already had the music, and I had the concept for the song, and I had some lyric ideas written down, but then Joe just sent me like a fucking chapter.
Those are my lyrics. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, and then we we kind of cropped it down a little bit to fit it into the 4-minute Blazer song. And then at that point, I knew, I was like, well, this is the future of this band is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah,
because
thanks again, man, for letting me do that. For sure, that is awesome.
Man. Joe's creative with the drumming, and he's definitely a wordsmith, and I think really we've got a great team going on right now with everything.
That's what's going on, and it actually fits with like what Narcotic Wasteland has been from the beginning, which you guys tend to speak on the real subjects of the current times.
That's actually why I read those to Dallas, because I was like, it was like before I joined the band, it was like COVID was happening, the whole world was freaking going crazy. I was just like, this is the AI takeover, this is gonna be it. It's not gonna be like Terminator, where it's gonna be like the machines all of a sudden decide humans bad and then they shoot and start killing us. It's gonna be, they're gonna think that we want drama, and it's gonna send us drama. Oh, you like somebody getting shot, because that's what we react to. If somebody just says, hey, you did a sick job on that show, and you're like, thanks, and then that's the whole post. But if somebody's like, oh, you suck because you're cheating and you use triggers, then you're like, oh, well, fuck you. And then there's another dude that's like, oh, well, you're just a kid. And then everybody's like talking shit to each other, but the algorithm sees it as like, oh, you guys like this. Oh, okay, well, here's like a cop killing a black guy or something. Here's something you're really gonna like. And then everybody's like pissed, and then there's riots, and then you like that? Oh, here's some
Yeah, just like it's only
political
liking.
stuff. Say no
It's a
more.
weird thing. When
Yeah.
you say like, it is true. It's like people
It's a
won't
dopamine.
admit that they like this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But in reality, it
gets all the clicks.
drives their existence. If they're
Yeah.
They can't help but comment on it. So AI just systematically not thinking about it like maliciously or whatever. It's just like, oh, you like drama? Here's some drama. Here's some more shit. Here's some stuff, and then we all just kill each other.
Crazy.
Dude, I mean, that's
That's what the song's about. That's exactly what it is.
Now that's what we call target ads.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I got you target right here.
And
they're looking for the engagement. That's all they're looking for. It's just people engaging with each other. It doesn't matter what is happening in that engagement, whether it be positive or negative. If it causes more engagement, then the algorithm is going to feed that.
Exactly. So it just thinks we like it, but it's like just because we like have to respond to like the fucked up shit for some reason. Like, oh, fuck you. This dude's cool, actually. He doesn't cheat. You're cheating. Or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, and then the expert chimes in. Well, actually, if you play it at 260 BPM and then, or whatever,
Yeah.
Something chimes in. It's all type of engagement for something that's actually like really bad.
Yeah.
All the positivity goes unnoticed.
Oh yeah, I definitely unnoticed it because I've read some dumb ass comments in my day. It's like, your vocals sounded better when you had a skullet.
And somebody chimes in like, no, Dallas has the best voice and most memorable voice in metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Or no,
no,
actually, I replied and said, your mom disagrees.
And then his mom chimes in.
Yeah, actually,
bring the whole family in there.
Dude.
Oh, well, luckily my mom hates all that shit. And she's like she's like the opposite of neurologically typical. So
there you go.
I got lucky. I got a great mom.
Hell yeah. I'll agree with you. I got a great mom too. Dude. She don't fuck with that shit either.
Shout out to all the moms.
Shout out to all the great
moms. Love you, mom.
There,
Medal for moms. By the way, Dreamer fan.
That does get Dreamer. Fuck yeah. That does get back to that title is like drugs have to do with dopamine and all that stuff, and the dopamine that we get from whether it's a negative or a positive video is still feeding the same part of our brain as a drug would, a narcotic would. So it's kind of like the new, YouTube and clicking on like, oh, it's like, oh shit, this crazy bad thing happened. Like you're like, oh, there's a part of your brain's like, I need to see this. It's like squeezing dopamine in your brain.
Like what's actually going on here? And then you like look through it. You're like, oh shit. Dang,
And then there's like oxytocin that gets mixed in there too, because you fall in love with certain pages that are giving you all this shit. And you're like, wait, no, dude. I love that.
Dude, have you taken a shit without your phone in a while? Like, I've left my phone. Like, this happened to me today, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was like looking around.
Staring at the wall.
Yeah, I was like, what?
I didn't realize this pattern on this towel that's been hanging there for 3 years.
Yeah, you're just like getting addicted to the phone without even realizing how addicted you are. It's like crazy.
Back in the day, it was literally like there'd be like a Sears catalog in someone's bathroom. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. I get to like read
magazine,
like, everybody's scared about COVID and stuff, and then meanwhile, poo particles on everybody's phone. They're just touching it.
Yeah, dude. And I pick things out of my teeth right after too.
Oh man,
your toothbrush is in the same room, just getting fucking nailed by all the poo particles.
That's funny you say that. It's like if I'm like, oh man, I've got to really take a shit right now. I have to have my phone.
I know.
Yeah.
That's when I do most of my social media checking out.
Wild.
Like,
I've locked in guests for this show while pushing poop out of my butt, dude.
He's like booking.
Yeah, I noticed. I like if I really have to go, I'm like, don't have my phone. I'm like, shit, where's my phone?
I know, dude. How insane is that? I know. It's like, well, I guess I'll just go to the bathroom. Fuck.
And then I sit there so long checking the scrolling that the circulation goes on my legs, and when I get up, I'm like, oh shit! Like,
I know,
holy
yeah,
fuck.
you'll be done just being like, well, maybe there's something else that's gonna come out. Let me just sit here for another 15 minutes.
I think I'm just gonna chill here for a second. Yeah, I gotta compose myself.
Oh, here you go. Social media prevents hemorrhoidal flare-up. Because it's you're so engrossed in it, the shit is literally just falling out of your asshole.
There you go.
Like, the guys are like, dude, I have to be on Facebook because I wipe less, dude.
Oh yeah, nice clean exits.
Yeah.
I figured
Wipe more.
Yeah.
if I wanted to get permanently banned from social media, I figured I would probably just get like a big gigantic erection going and take a picture of it and like post it. And
Well, thank
Do
you,
the
Sid.
Elton.
I'm so tempted to do shit like that sometimes. Just like fuck this shit.
Just like blow it up. Just like, okay, I'm done.
Check out my cock. Yeah.
David Ellison, yeah, like, that's what Joseph was saying.
I know. I had to. Sorry.
Too soon.
Shout out too soon. Yep.
Oh man,
Speaking
right
of
when
Sears catalog.
right when COVID kind of started uplifting its curse, and we actually got to play a few shows in 2021. Oh man, in the van, that was just like the butt end of every joke. And I told the guys, I was like, I'll never derail the band like that. Oh, get it, rail. Anyways, yeah.
So was it? Were we still in the pandemic when we had you on, Dallas?
I honestly can't remember, but it was sometime.
It was 2020.
Early. It's pretty early.
What was it? 2020? It was a while back.
2020.
Wow.
Or like early 2021.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
2021.
I know I came
Could
on
be.
later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was 88,
Jesus.
which is my shit.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
80
dude.
yeah, I remember that. Was
Oh,
it the 80
yeah.
number or was it 88?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was like I was born like 8th month of 1988, and it was like 8:08 in the morning, and I was like 8 pounds and 8 ounces or some shit.
Dude, eight's. We probably already talked about it on your episode.
We
but
did,
eight's my
because
number
it
too.
Dude, nice, sick, bro.
and actually pounded, dude.
Yeah, pounded.
You were the episode before Paul too, which by the way, we got to give a little shout out to Cynic tonight. Today is the 30th anniversary of Focus.
Oh, damn.
Oh wow.
Today,
Oh wow.
Sick, dude.
when we were recording this, is the 30th anniversary, and shout out to the greatest 8 songs that were ever recorded, dude.
They
You're
were
not a
definitely
great
interesting.
In my
I don't
opinion,
know about greatest, but
in my
Yeah.
opinion,
that was great.
Yeah, just
It was
that,
wonderful.
that came from my
Jesus
brain,
Christ.
and I will back that.
Everyone has
I'll
different
give you that. They're
opinions.
sick.
Hell yeah.
Textures was beautiful.
Yeah, I really dug it when it
Beautiful.
came out, and it was a little different. There was a lot of crazy stuff coming out, and I remember hearing the Cynic thing and just being like, "Oh, this is really fucking cool."
Hell
But it
yeah,
wasn't
dude.
my favorite. I'm more of like the bolt thrower kind of persuasion. But
Right.
I did really dig the Cynic Focus record when it came out. I was like, wow, man, this is
It's-
really cool. It's all the
cool.
music is beautiful. It's really
Yeah.
like, and it has, it's not just badass chops and technique either. I mean, those songs have some feeling to them.
Mhm.
Totally.
Like, yeah, it's got some emotional content. And
What's cool?
yeah,
is that's like it's a total seed that was planted a long time ago, and it took just. Actually sprouted like in 2004 or 5. It was like, and then that's when actually people started actually paying more attention to them. But at the time it came out, I obviously my brother was way into it. He was way into death metal and stuff like in the early 90s and stuff. And he was just like, Cynic's fucking, it was way over everyone's head. They're just like, all right, well, this is way different. Kind of going a jazz proggy thing and going on tour with like Cannibal and stuff. And then Cannibal's even trying to be like, dude, this is ridiculous. Check this out. But it's still, I don't think it was ready. It was just kind of like, it was still a little too experimental for the time it came out. And that's what Paul was even saying too on the episode. And it was cool to see like a resurgence of people finding that later and then being like, holy fuck, this came out fucking this long. Jesus.
What's that? What am I hearing?
stuff just being ahead of its time. that's kind of how I felt about, believe it or not, a band that's not even in that genre at all. Or this band is crazy, but Faith No More.
Oh yeah.
When Faith No More came out, I actually dug it, thought it was pretty cool. But I was reading stuff in magazines, and those guys were like getting booed off the stage. And then, okay, let's fast forward 10 years later, and I'm, chilling, driving down the street with my son or whatever, and The Real Thing comes on the fucking radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, I did not see that coming at all, because everybody, they didn't really hate him, but there was only a few of my metal buddies that kind of got it. You know what I mean? That thought that was a pretty cool alternative thing to listen to once you're sick of, putting rivets in your head. It's like, it was different. And of course, Mr. Bungle and all that shit,
So that was going to be my question to you was, was Bungle already on your radar before Faith No More? Dallas?
No, I discovered them. I discovered that after I discovered Faith No More, because then I started checking out, started reading stuff, and I was like,
right.
And then a buddy of mine that was he didn't go to the same high school as me, but we were buddies because we hung out the same metal guy crowd, whatever. And he had a Mr. Bungle cassette.
Which one? Was it the self-titled Disco?
I think it was. It looked like a fucking demo.
Oh, okay. So it might have been the fucking... They had a bunch of demos before they put anything out.
The only thing I remember was "Squeeze My Macaroni."
Yeah, so that's the self-titled, but also the demo right before it had "Squeeze Me Macaroni." And it might have been, and the demo I think it's 818 or some shit. I can't remember what that demo is called, but the one right before they put their shit out on Warner Brothers, it's basically just the early versions of songs you would have found on that first self-titled. But that's cool, dude. So so Faith No More was your first introduction to Mike, and then you dug into Bungle. So what was your experience with that? Like, because everybody has their first Bungle experience, and nobody's ready for it,
Well, I could say that I found it highly entertaining.
Yeah.
And we would laugh and we would sing along with it and, make jokes and whatever. And we liked the sort of lightheartedness of it, kind of, It was a little bit of a break from some of the other shit we were getting into, which was, pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm. And then did you dig enough to find out that, they started in crossover thrash,
Oh yeah.
That first demo, what was it? The Easter Bunny demo. That's the Breaking Wrath of the Easter Bunny. That literally, if you listen to it, it sounds no different than most of the metal we were, once you get back to the beginnings of all those bands, like they were just as important at that time for me.
Yeah.
When you go back and listen to other things that were happening at the same time, like and in high school, they caught that wave of crossover thrash that was just bubbling up at the time,
Totally. That just went under the radar for me because I was already, the interview I did the other night, I was kind of telling about how crossover is sort of like real close to my heart in a lot of ways.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, so name a couple of bands. And we'd already been talking about DRI. So I was like, yeah, DRI and then Crumbsuckers. It's like, I consider that to be some great crossover right there. And probably my favorite.
SOD would be me and Joel's probably introduction to crossover. Joel, do you have anything earlier than SOD where you got introduced to crossover?
No. SOD was pretty much that was my first. I was into the Slayer mode back then, and
but that's really not crossover, It's like
but they were doing like funny, like the comedy crossover was my first like where I was like actually laughing with the songs, and I was like
totally
because they were so shocking and shit back then. Even nowadays they're not even you can't play any of that shit. But
you can't.
But
I guess Suicidal did that a little bit too. They kind of started out more punk, and then the riffs started to get a little bit more thrashy.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they started getting a little bit of funk and groove going on.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I dug all that shit actually.
Definitely.
Hell
Shout out
yeah.
Nate. Nate is in the
Oh,
old
what
comments
up?
on Tajani.
You already got a shout out earlier, bro. You get
Yeah,
another one
shout
right
out.
Kenji episode.
Benji, let's talk about that bass, bro.
Yeah, dude. Kenji, where the
We'll
shit
save,
did you learn how to
we'll
fucking
save that
play?
for my episode. I don't have my bass on me. I want to show and stuff like that, but yeah, I'll do that then. But yeah, to kind of talk about it, I have a bass called the NS Stick. It's kind of unique. It's an 8-string bass, part Chapman Stick, part Steinberger. And people ask me why I play that instrument. It's because, you know, people are going like 9-string, 10-string guitars and they're coming to my register. So I'm like, fuck you, I'm going to your register now. So that's kind of my attack against, basically my pushback against the trend. So.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
It's basically like a chapstick, right?
A chapstick.
Yeah, it's like a chapstick. But like I said, I mean, I would love to. I know last time I was on, I had it on me. I could kind of show stuff, but I won't. I can't really. It's kind of hard to kind of explain without showing stuff, you know. So I would like to, in the future, if I'm able to come back, I'll.
Dude, you definitely need like a big chapstick sticker on it, like a
or do a video, a playthrough video where your lips are super chapped.
Oh yeah.
And just rub your bass on it.
And you're in a bad mood, so you're all chapped, and then you play your
You're a chap's chap.
Yeah. And shout out to Steve also too from Cephalic. He does sound for Mr. Bungle. No, pretty much all of Patton's projects.
Steve,
like,
yeah.
I like.
That's actually who I heard that from.
Yeah. No,
so
definitely.
wait, I
what's that song where it's like sing and rejoice? Sing and rejoice. I can't remember the song. Somebody tell me.
Kenji,
whatever.
Did you develop this mix of the two instruments, or?
Oh no. So I kind of said that it was my revenge against like the trend, but that's just kind of an afterthought. So what initially happened was I was looking for an extended range bass. I was going through Craigslist. I just couldn't find one. Things were like, what, $2,000, $3,000. It was just kind of expensive. I'm like, I don't spend that much money. I don't have that kind of money. And I was looking around, and I just come across this thing. I forgot what I did. I changed the wording on it. So I wasn't looking for like an extended range bass specifically. And that NS Stick came up, and it was only like $900. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? And I saw a picture of it. What the hell is that? So I go there, meet the guy, and then the guy doesn't know what he has. He's like, I don't know. I kind of just came across me, and like, I don't even know what this is. Yeah, it's a broom, like Nate's saying. I refer to it as a broom. It literally looks like a broom. And then it's like, I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? And I play it, and it's like, this is just kind of hard to play. So bizarre, but it's like only $900. Everything else is like $2,000. So like, yeah, fucking I'll buy it. So that's how I got it.
That cracks me up.
I've been playing it since, and I kind of got accustomed to it. So it's like I can't, if I pick up a regular bass, I just it takes me like a little while to get used to it because I'm just so used to my instrument right now. It's its own animal.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically, it's kind of like a harp. I'm basically playing a harp.
Yeah. I like that idea though of taking it back for bass players, because I know that, you know, with all the 8-string and now 9-string guitars that are coming into the fold, like they're in your register now, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, most bands don't have bass players anymore. Yeah, they don't have bass players anymore. You can't even hear it in a mix. I heard that some people just like record their bass line on their guitar and they'll just like octave it down just to make their life easier, right? So it's like, well, fuck you. Go with your register and try to survive.
Yeah, and I have to totally agree with that. I mean, Narcotic Wasteland, half our songs are in D sharp standard and half of our songs are in D standard. So we're not a really low tuned band. Like, I like the guitar to be a guitar.
Yeah.
And when we change tunings halfway through the set, the only thing Kenji has to do is he has a capo up here and he just moves it either up or down one half step.
That's awesome.
And you know, it makes perfect sense. And it works brilliantly. It sounds tight as shit. And even though if you look at what he's doing compared to what we're doing on the guitars, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But if you listen to it, it's like right in there. You know what I mean? And Yeah, that's a brilliant way to approach to the low end instrument. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He can go up into the guitar register, or he can go way down into the brown notes. You know,
the cash register.
The cash register, yeah. You got the high register, mid register, and cash register.
But yeah, no, I mean that's kind of the reason why the 8-string works well is the flexibility, because I do play in multiple bands, so and they're all playing different tunings, right? So rather than having multiple instruments, this is kind of my way of being cheap. It just has one instrument and have a capo, and I'm just instantly in these other tunings without me having to deal with changing the tuning every time, changing the strings out, having multiple instruments. I could just have one instrument and a capo, and I'm good to play in these multiple bands.
That was literally going to be my next question to you was, or one statement, which is I've never really seen anybody use a capo in metal, let alone a bass player in metal use it. And I wanted to, have you go into that a little bit as to how for a dummy like me listening to this thing right now, what does a capo do exactly, and what, depending on tuning and all that stuff, where do you place it on the guitar or bass to make it still, within tune? Now I'm starting to just act like check on my dude. I think on these things.
Yeah, do the Mickey Mouse. You got to Mickey Mouse him. Yeah.
The hidden Mickey.
Oh, I liked it.
I broke these. I stepped on them like an asshole, like probably 20 episodes ago, and I've been still using them. Fuck it. I still hear you guys. They got the strap that's still in here, so it still stays on my head. But yeah,
this is a two-parter for Anthony. Like what does a guitar do?
Fuck you,
no.
Switch guitar.
My thing is like with tuning, I'd like to understand that a little more, because I've always seen a capo used. I know what it is, and I know that the placement of it makes it to where I lose it there, dude. Like,
so basically, the reason why you get notes from a string is because depending on the length of the string, right? That's why we finger the strings to make the strings longer or shorter.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get that specific note. So a capo is basically think of it as having that permanent finger on a certain fret, which allows me to play it open. So, for example, my bass without the capo is tuned to E flat, octave down. So that's very, very low. And I rarely play in that register because, first of all, you can't really hear it anyways. But I have it in E flat just to have the flexibility. Like Dallas just said, Narcotic Wingspan plays in two different tunings. So we have E flat and D. So in the middle of our set, we actually play like a little like a 40-second sound effect, and the guys have to change out their instruments because they have two instruments. One's tuned to a D, one's tuned to E flat. In my case, all I have to do is I have a capo and I move it up, and I'm ready to go in 5 seconds.
Yeah, scooch it a half step forward, and then it's playing a half step forward when you're open. Like the open string becomes the new note.
Rather, the capoed string.
Because
that's his open string.
Yeah, the open becomes the capo wherever it's at. So you have it up here; it's like way higher.
Yes, but there's different schools of thought regarding this, though. This method doesn't really work well for recording, unfortunately. And Nate, who was in the chat section, kind of discussed it. We had a discussion about this a while back too. About there's a certain sound that you get through just playing an open and a capoed open, and differences between
versus the nut versus a capo is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's different sounds. So when I record, I actually, I don't use a capo. I actually, tune it down to the correct tuning, because there's a certain intricacy that you can't get with a capo, and it works perfectly for live. So for live purposes, it's fine. I mean, it's great. It's flexible instruments. But for recording, I actually use two different bases for recording, because I like the open sound. I have an Ibanez Prestige that I use for recordings because the open string sounds super fat on those. Yeah. But for the top register, I use my NS stick. So that's recording. I mean, that's there's a whole other school for that. But live purposes, yeah, the NS6 is a great instrument for being flexible. It can play in multiple tunings. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what it's for.
So Anthony, just to put it cause for Anthony that doesn't really play guitar or tune stuff very often, it's basically like if all the strings were to be tuned, they're up by frets. So like, if you tune down, it's another fret lower that you're tuning down. But instead of that, let's say if you're normal tuning and you tune a half step, all the strings down a half step. So that means basically, if you want to be in normal tuning, you would put a capo on the first fret, and that would be now normal tuning because all the strings be held down. So it would hold all those strings down, and now you're in E rather than E.
So what? Okay, so when you say the two tunings for Narcotic, which is E flat and what?
No, it's D and D sharp.
D, so where do you place the capo to differentiate those two tunings?
So so imagine where my capo is the headstock. Like that might be a better way for you to visualize it. So if I put my capo on the third string, imagine that everything above that third string is cut off, and that's where the headstock of the guitar is.
It's chopped off.
So you tune to the lower tuning and then use the capo to bring it up?
Bring it up.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm getting
We're
it,
all
guys.
learning. I love it.
I'm
teaching singers capos.
Yeah, Kenji, I definitely get what Kenji's saying about the sound of an open string compared to a fretted string. And a lot of times when I'm riffing around and, trying to figure out guitar riffs, I do with chording or open string picking. I try to incorporate open strings in my riff because they resonate a much more open and a lot more sustained to them. So I can totally see that. But yeah, I mean, I would, with the recordings that Kenji has been sending me, hell, they're in tune, they're in time. He does a lot of great licks and killer stuff that adds to the song. Hell, I didn't know he wasn't using a capo until now. He doesn't use a capo when he records. Okay. That's cool. That's really cool.
Which is kind of cool, but then also kind of sucks for me because that means I have to learn the song 2 times. Like I have to record it with this tuning, and then when I play it live, I use a capo, so I have to relearn it in this my tuning, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal, but just for the element of capturing the sound, just because I want the best sound quality, I use 2 different basses, and the bass Ibanez that I use, I actually tune into the tuning that I've actually played to utilize open strings.
Are there like
the chapstick sounds pretty good though? I mean, maybe just get you like a string endorsement from hell.
I think kind of what Casey's brought to ask, because it's the same question I was going to ask. So let's say if you were gonna, because we've had friends like your dots. Do you have or you were gonna have separate dots for a capo?
Well, I mean,
fret markers.
Yeah, fret markers. You just have those like LED move up.
No. I mean, you just get used to it. So, for example, if I had to put my capo on the 3rd fret to play in E flat. So I just kind of move everything up, and I write it down to. Basically, I play like the 6th fret, the 8th fret, instead of playing, what would have been the 3rd and the 5th fret. So if you think of it that way, it's not that big of a deal. It's not. I'm not transposing the entire time. I'm not doing math the entire time. I just memorize the playing.
As being like the best jazz musician of all time.
Yeah, from the 1st fret.
I'm literally
the dots still kind of align on the 3rd fret a little bit. So
this is blowing my mind.
There. Like if you were to do like the 1st fret, then like all the dots move one over, and then that like your brain, like the visual part of it, has to be all muscle memory at that point.
Sort of, yeah. So I'm not I'm not memorizing the playing to an open string, if that makes sense. So if I put in the capo on the 2nd or 3rd fret, so sometimes I'll do it on a 3rd, sometimes I'll put it on a 2nd. Yeah. I'll just memorize the song. Yeah, it's okay. So I play on the 6th and the 8th, and then like that. So I'm not doing math. I'm not transposing the entire time. I just memorize playing with the capo on at that tuning. So it makes not that much difference to me. It's not as complicated as it sounds. It's just basically memorizing the song in a weird tuning. That's all.
Well, it's because you're an amazing musician that it's not that
I
complicated.
was gonna say it's not complicated to you. I have to pick up a whole damn guitar, and my guitar has to be exactly the same as the other guitar, except for the tuning.
My thing was gonna be, I was gonna add that, which is, you say that, oh, I don't have to switch instruments, but you do have to you have to play a song differently.
Oh yeah.
Then
Well, I am, yeah. So I'm not playing. Well, technically, I'm playing. If going back to the example that I said, if you took the capo and cut off everything above it and made it into a headstock, and if you pay attention to what I'm doing with that line, then you'll realize that I'm doing exactly the same thing that the other guys are doing, because I'm just playing in that tuning. It's just that it looks a little bit weird just because there's a capo there. But if you ignore everything above the capo and think of the capo as a 0 fret, then you think, oh, I'm actually, Kenji's just playing exactly the same thing that all other guys are doing.
But that's
Shorter scale bass.
That's where the dots come into play, though. It's reference to.
Yeah,
I'm always thinking about like dots. No matter what tuning I'm in, it's like that's 3rd fret.
Like I need to know where 12 is. I need to know where 12
So
is, and that tells me the 9. And
Do you like use dots? Like you have dots, like, or
Well, I don't have anything on my fretboard. So I have this company called Nick Illusions that sends me decals. So I don't know if you see my bass recently. My fretboard is all red right now because I thought, oh, it'd be kind of cool to make it all red. So it's all red. So I have no dots. I have no fret markers.
Dots?
Wow.
We don't need no stinking
We don't
dots.
need no dots.
wow.
where we're going, we don't need no dots.
Yeah.
No dots.
Well, that makes a lot more sense. Though. That's crazy. Wow. I just feel like you'd be like an insane like session jazz like guy. Just someone comes in and is like, oh, I'm playing in C standard, I'm playing in E flat or B flat, and you're just like, no problem.
Yeah, just move. I'm too
That would work if I knew my scales that well. I don't know my scales that well, but yeah, I mean that would work if I did.
There's people that have that, just like I think it's the more like I was getting at the muscle memory, because I remember our old friend Richie Casey, one time we were gonna film a video of him doing a Michelangelo Badio video, and he was like, he was like, oh, it's tuned a half step lower. Okay, I'll do it. And just like moved everything a half step and just did it.
By the way, what's he
up
up to now?
That's like taking your drum set and pushing it like a foot forward and just be like, I'll just like reach over here.
Yeah. It's like his brain was like, okay, muscle memory patterns. I'm not gonna worry about the dots and stuff. I'm just gonna, just move everything a half step forward and just make it normal tuning and then just like shred on that. And I was like, and he just played the whole No Boundaries. We filmed it in our fucking. Did it like in the living room, and he just.
I remember watching that, dude.
Yeah, and he was all half step. Okay, so I'll just and just played the whole thing for us. We're like, how did you make
that? Was a famous video.
Yeah,
that was a famous video in our group, and I now I'm curious as to what that dude's up to right now.
Yeah, last time he was homeless. But sorry, I didn't mean to think of it.
God damn.
Do you know what he reminds me of? Do you know that in shooting games? There's like that boss that doesn't move and like shoots like all these bullets in different multiple directions. He just reminds me of that. Just this guy who just cannot move because he's playing this massive like X instrument and just kind of staying in place. And there's just no way to look cool playing that thing too. It's like I know he's doing something really cool, but he's just it's just goofy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Richie, I hope you're doing good. I hope you didn't get stuck in the narcotic wasteland. You know what I'm saying?
He came over here 2020 and was living out of a van, and then like cops just like immediately ticketed the shit out of his van just for being like this.
Wait, Michelangelo Badio?
No, not Michelangelo. No.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about him. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, Michelangelo's doing terrible, dude. He's
pushing the cart, dude. He's fucking.
Okay.
He's got
it's an old friend
acoustic with only 4 strings still on it, sitting out.
Yeah, it's an old friend of ours. It's last time I saw him, it was he was on the up and up, but yeah, he was having some issues.
Well,
but you asked me, and I've been drinking, so I just said it on the podcast.
Well, so we didn't say any last names, and actually, you guys, it's not even his real name. His real name's actually something else. So.
Right.
Well, cheers to that guy, and it's really tough on everybody right now in the world.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Definitely.
There are a lot of people, I don't know if you noticed this, but when you're driving down the road, you'll see a lot of houses, but you'll see a lot of like RVs and campers and stuff parked in front of those houses. And obviously there's like family members living there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because
It's gnarly.
everything is so goddamn expensive, and even if you have a skill and trade you're really good at, you're not getting paid what you deserve. And it's a pretty shitty time for everybody right now. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but
No, for
you
sure.
know,
I've noticed exactly what you're talking about. I've noticed. I live in a coastal town, and the RV thing did get much bigger after the pandemic. A lot more homeless after the pandemic, and
a lot of us is people saying "fuck this shit."
Yeah,
I know, but it is sad because it's just like that. That was a devastating part. So it's just like in our history, it affected a lot, and we're still going to be seeing it for a while. You know, a long time.
I feel like it's like super weird, like how the housing and rental market has just gotten so out of control, and like you know, like everything else is like where it's at, and there's all the other things in the economy and society, but like. How did that? How did they get away with that? Like, how did
everybody's trying to recoup what they lost?
It's all people investing. People are all investing in
before
stuff.
Before the pandemic too.
Yeah, people invest in properties and then they wait for the fucking value to go up and then they sell it. And then one house on the block will sell for like $150,000 more than everyone thought it would sell for. Then all the other houses around it go up, and then they can all sell those houses for more expensive. And it's like rinse and repeat. They just keep doing it until it's like all right, $1 million for 900 square feet. Like, all right, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, and especially with like the interest rates now. I was watching a video. Is like if you make 500, or if you want a $500,000 house, which is still pretty expensive here, it's like that'd be like a steal where I live. But they were like, you have to make comfortably $192,000 a year to afford that house right now with the interest rates being that high. Because I just learned about all the interest rates and with mortgage and stuff like. And how like that can affect like dramatically, like it'd be for like $1 million house would be $5,000 a month, you know, when it was 2% or whatever. But now it would be like almost 10,000, like you know, 11,000 because of the interest rate. So it's
they're
like
trying to combat inflation with that, whatever. But it's like
it's just insane. It's like even you go to shitty parts of the like total parts that you wouldn't want to normally go to, and you look at Zillow or whatever, and you're like, Jesus Christ, like. It's like
I feel like that's like way out of proportion from the rest of the economy, like food and other things and like whatever, and everything else is like a certain level, but like then there's like housing, like
cost of living, you know.
And it used to be like the rule of thumb was like what, like 30% of your pay should go to cost of living. Now it's like it's like retirement. They're like, oh, you can retire a little later. It's like, you know, it's like they keep pushing it up and up and up until like Jesus Christ, like what do I fucking do? Like, you know, it's just I think it's just a bunch of investors trying to make a bunch of money, and they have, and now like
got away with
kind of suffering from that, you know.
Well, and there's also the inherent thing of they don't want any of us to own anything. They just want us to rent it. It doesn't matter if it's software or housing.
Yeah, it's like monthly payments now. You're right.
Fuck, they try to figure out a way to do that with food too, if they could. You know.
Yeah.
Well, they already do it with pharmaceuticals.
You're just gonna rent that food. You're gonna have to excrete it and return it to me later.
Yeah.
Recycle it.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of do.
If you don't turn your shit in, you get taxed.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's a good. There's a good Douglas Adams joke in there somewhere. But
I heard somewhere that you're gonna have to start like renting a subscription just to have your car on. That if you like delinquent, they'll shut your car off. In some of the newer models, they're working on that. That's what I heard. I'm not sure how true it is, but the
subscription model has been like it's fucked because it's such a. I hope you forget that you got the subscription and we want our money every month, and then you forget about it, and it's like a year later, and you're like, oh, I've been paying this thing I didn't even fucking use. And it's like it's that whole model that's like kind of taken over. And sometimes
Google Drive, Dropbox, all those.
You look at it, you're like, oh, it's like $8.99 a month, whatever. That's not bad. Then you like forget about it, and it's like, oh, cool, that was $500 that I forgot about. You know, it's like it slowly whittled it away from your bank account, and you're like, it's like the whole what they're hoping on, you know. Yeah,
it's parasitic as fuck.
Oh yeah, and good luck canceling that shit.
Oh yeah, especially or getting your money back if you never used it. Like if you're like, I've never used it.
It's like every major corporation has taken on the porn website mentality.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like as soon as you sign into that shit, good luck signing out of it. You're going to have to talk to someone on the phone. And of course, that's also a thing. But they say you can do it online. But then you go to click that one thing and it says that this is temporarily unavailable.
Yeah.
Or like it glitches and you can't even put in your full address because the line won't actually select United States or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like little glitches like that.
Oh, all the time, dude. I'm damn Gen X as fuck. I'm riddled with that shit. Every time I pick up the computer, I'm just like, fuck. I hate that shit, man. And they make it very difficult. I noticed it, of course, with like Xbox Live and shit, or any of those subscriptions, or, probably I'm sure with Netflix, of course, I haven't, I let mine lapse a good while back. I think really, ultimately, if we want to win this war, fellas, we need to just stop giving rich assholes our money.
Yeah, I know.
Pull all the money out of the banks. Stop shopping Amazon. I know how convenient it is, and yeah, that would really suck. But these guys they're holding all the cards, and and they, from what I hear, I never would grace that place with my presence, but I hear they treat their employees like shit.
We gotta go back to shitting without phones.
Yeah, go back to shitting without phones. You need
Damn, I don't know if I could do that.
Yes.
All the toilets just have like a no phone sign.
I literally
might have to add milk in my coffee back into my diet, but then
I remember reading the ingredients on shampoo bottles and shit like that. Dude.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
I used to do that too. That's like grab something to read, and you're like, oh,
what else are you gonna look at? Yeah.
Oh fuck, I'm old. I was like Hit Parader, Power Metal, Metal Maniacs.
You gotta have the stack, dude.
The only place I've ever felt like without my phone, no big deal in a toilet was in Japan. And I just got back and
they probably got TVs and shit.
Wow. Say.
They have heated toilet seats there.
Dude. Japan, we take our toilets very seriously.
So it's like a goddamn space station.
So you're from Japan, Kenji?
I'm Japanese.
Where are you from?
My parents are from Kyoto.
Okay, nice.
So, but I've never lived there. I speak the language. I'm fluent, but I've never lived there. I haven't been there in like 12 years, though, to be honest.
Yeah, really.
Teach us some dirty words in Japanese. Teach us some cursing in Japanese, real quick.
Hey, what do you want to know? How to say?
Ooh. White devil.
White devil.
What?
White devil.
White devil.
Yeah.
You just gotta say it with the accent.
How else do you say in Japanese? Really?
That's funny.
I went to Kyoto. It's cool. We stayed there one night. Sick.
Oh yeah.
So I got this shirt, dude. You
got that shirt in Kyoto?
Yeah, Kyoto's kind of where they keep the old school charm going. There's lots of temples, lots of like the scenery that you see in the samurai movies, and like you'll still see those there. Tokyo is kind of modernized. You see a bunch of buildings, but Kyoto still has the old school buildings there.
Yeah, we did the 3-hour walking tour in Kyoto. We did the temples and all that, all the way to the top of the hill. It was sick as fuck.
Nice,
super nice. And yeah, man, like I went to Osaka too, and also there's a bar, Rock in Osaka, which is a rad bar. And my friend, who's a tattoo artist, he goes up there every year, and he like knows the owners there, and they're super cool. And it was like, dude, it was crazy. Like, there's all these like Polaroids on the wall. There's like hanging out with like Maynard from Tool, Marilyn Manson, all these people that have come there and like kicked it and stuff. Is crazy.
Dude, I've been to the Rock.
You have? I was
yes. Niall, for a couple of years in a row there, we were doing a circuit over there called Extreme the Dojo. And 1 year it was us and Triptychon and fucking Obscura.
Oh shit!
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was probably our second or third time over. I think our first time over was in 2003. But yeah, you do Osaka, you ride the bullet train all the way down.
Yep, we did that. Yeah,
that shit's awesome, and great culture, great people, and a lot of cool shit to see. It kind of reminded me of the old Godzilla movies.
Yeah,
like the way it looked. I was like, those weren't crazy or bad special effects. That's just how this place fucking looks.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun to visit there.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get there again.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, shout out to
Gilbert in the chat.
yeah, totally. It's a Yoko and Senji. I think Senji's the owner. And anyways, they're fucking badass.
Oh, my brother.
Whole wall of like, amazing ass people.
God damn it, Kenji.
Yeah. And then also the Gods Metal Bar in Shinjuku in Tokyo. That place is badass, dude. There's all the plaques on the walls. There's Suffocation, all the shit signs, Suicide Silence, all the autographs, fucking all the people, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we went to a really cool bar and restaurant in was it Montreal? No, it wasn't Montreal. Where was that?
Montreal had a metal bar.
Oh, Montreal is great. Yeah.
There's one that had like they literally had a Dinu burger, and I ate the Exodus sandwich. What was that place? The Coven?
Yeah.
Coven?
Was that in Manitoba?
Well,
Was it Manitoba?
I thought there was a
Fucking
place in
muted. It's too much in
Chicago.
Oh, no, that was in Ottawa.
That was in Ottawa. That's right.
Yeah.
That was in Ottawa because Eric was there. Maradi. He
Oh yeah,
chilling
Eric
with
was
us
there. And
Yeah.
it was a funny night
They'll
actually.
be drinking Coors seltzers and shit. There was no White Claws there.
Coors Seltzer.
Coors Seltzers.
He's a White Claw, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm all with the Topo Chicos, but yeah.
But Coors probably owns that.
Nine.
It's like,
I know
It
probably.
was funny. I was kind of in not a great mood that night because actually the place was pretty packed and my guitar went down.
Oh yeah, he did the singing. Yeah. Fuck
Yeah, so I had to put my guitar down and just sing. But luckily, I mean, we still sounded pretty killer.
Which, dude, that was pretty fucking sick, bro. It was cool
From
seeing
just-
you like
with
down
the-
there, just like fucking, like
Yeah.
Want to see
With
that?
the mic, that happened a couple of times in the Nile days too, where something happened with my guitar and it went down, and then what do you do then? You just grab the fucking mic and finish the song.
yeah.
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 You get to be just a singer for a minute.
The show goes on.
Yeah, you got to keep going. You can't hold up the show because your cabinet failure or whatever happens.
Shout out to David, our old guitar player, Vodius. He one time he broke a string one time, and we were like playing the show in like Arizona or something, and he just throws the guitar on the ground and just starts the biggest mosh. He just jumps in and just starts the biggest mosh. He just gets in and starts like wrecking people, and people like starts the whole crowd moving. And I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yes,
He was like, "How could I be useful right now? Because we have like 2 minutes left in the song. I'm not gonna fucking like try to fix it. I'm just gonna go start." I mean, we were all young and stuff. That's not like a thing probably at this age he would have done. But
I've talked about it on the
No, that's great showmanship. It's about entertainment, and that's exactly what you guys went and did.
I brought it up on the show previously, but I'm going to bring it up again because that was just brought up with the David Siskin thing because he just broke a string and he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. But then you got the Eric Rutan dude who literally will break a string, restring, tune up, and finish the song. He'll be able to
with the Floyd Rose though. With the Floyd Rose though, that's the impressive part to me. You can restring easily normally, but the Floyd Rose part, like I remember him on stage just like fucking doing it, clipping it, doing all the things. And
it was one of the most impressive things I've seen, dude.
Yeah.
Because, and the crowd. You know the crowd when that happens, they're watching it all go down, and then they see him step back up to the mic and jump back in the song. Everybody's energy is just brought right back up to 10. Like,
it's like
shit,
when you watch. There's that famous
pulled that off, dude.
Stevie
Ray Vaughan video of that where he breaks a string and he's singing and he pops. It's like all over the internet and stuff where he pops a string and then like he looks back at the tech. He's all because like you see a string just like flailing. It's like his not his E string, but maybe his G string or something just pops off and he's like fuck, and he just like he just looks back and he's in the middle of a solo when it happens and he has to like start skipping the string and stuff.
I hate it
like
breaks. It's terrible, dude.
Yeah, and he goes like there's a part where it's just like it's all it's a blues part where it's just all like the no guitar. It's all darn it and burn, burn it and burn. He's like doing that part. He's all darn it and burn, darn it and burn. And it goes right back into the song, and I was like,
"Hell yeah!"
Fuck, that's like to me when when you played shows and stuff, recoveries are like,
dude,
the most impressive thing I've ever.
I hope Gilbert's telling the truth in the chat. because he says he bit off the end of the fucking string while he restringed. Are we talking about Rutan, dude?
What?
He bit the ball end off with his teeth, dude. That's what Eric would do. Fuck.
Said,
Ouch.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I know. I tried to bring it back to it, dude.
Jeez.
You got to take care of the grill a little bit better, brother.
I don't know if that's like dental approved.
Okay, I'm believing.
Just keep that on your amp.
My teeth hurt just thinking about that. That sounds rough.
Yeah.
All right.
Yikes.
Gilbert was trolling me, and I fucking bit I bit the fucking bait, dude.
Troll bait.
Gourmet for fuck's sake. I think.
But no,
Yeah,
that
I
shows,
see it too.
I've
that
never
shows
used
like
FFS.
Shout out to bros who open bottles with their teeth. Like
I've done
That's
that multiple
fucking
times. When I
rough.
was younger, I did that because I was like, I can do it, but I was like, oh, the
Yeah.
enamel on my teeth. Should probably not do that. Just,
I can't do that.
Yeah, that's just not a good idea.
I was like, check it out, I can do it. And I was like, I don't know if that's I think it's digging into my teeth enamel. I'm gonna have to have some serious work later because of this.
yeah,
I'd probably completely remove a molar and be like, ah! You know, fucking blood going everywhere.
Yeah.
Help me!
that is definitely the more real life situation.
Kevin, to bring back to the like Casey traveling and stuff, and I saw on Saturday last week I saw Shakti with John McLaughlin and Zakir Hussain. And I don't know if that was
So jealous, dude.
fucking those guys with music. I don't know if you guys John
Mahavishnu?
McLaughlin from like Mahavishnu and stuff, but like
Yeah.
watching them, it's like it's East Indian music with Zakir Hussain. It's like he's a death metal tabla player. It's just like he's like they're just like
these
in there
are
trading and
sick.
stuff. And I like my buddy's trying to go. Josh is trying to go in Austin, but you can't even get resale to it. We like shout out to Trevor. He like got tickets the day they went on sale. It was like $200 a ticket, but we just got them. Said fuck it, we're getting them. And like it was the most
I would have
fucked
spent
up show I've ever seen. It was the most fucked up show I've seen because it was like the time signatures because they count like the East Indian time. I have no idea, but everyone would just be like this. They go like they change every time. And then after like 40 hits, they'd go like, oh, like a whole. And I would be like, what the fuck is going on? And like they're like, and they're like,
They count differently?
What's up?
Joe
They count differently?
They count. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, like a lot of like cultures have like counting, like like based on their like whatever like languages and stuff. But like Indian stuff is like.
Yeah.
I love it, dude.
The singer would riff with the guitar
like
player and
knees at a whole nother level, dude.
Yeah, dude. I was like, yeah, riffanese. That's Dallas. We still use riffanese ever since your episode. By the way,
been talking about it.
Yeah. Do you
I thought it was
speak the
Rippanese.
old Rippanese or Riffanese? No, we use both of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Hell
Like,
yeah.
sure, man, this riff goes like this. Zan,
Zan.
I mean, it's.
But I was
kind
using
of-
the chins. I'd be like chin, 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 chin.
I'm a Jun guy. I'm a Jun.
Chin.
But it really is. It is very. It's no different than what we're talking about with how, the South. Is it South India that Shakti's from? I think it's.
I have
Either
no
way,
idea
whatever-
exactly where they're from.
Whatever
but,
that style of music that they're playing and how they count it, like it really is riffanese death metal, dude.
If you want to hear like regular, just like if you want to hear like so Steve Smith is all about that, like with Vital Information in his band. I've seen him twice live.
yeah.
But like he's like da digga digga da digga digga da digga digga. He like plays the drums like Steve Smith from Journey and shit. He's like gas drummer. Like he has like made it like almost like very accessible. Like yeah, they have songs like if you listen to Vital Information, there are songs with that counting like.
No, real quick, I have actually I have queued up now because me and Naveen were going back on it because I like sent it to him and I was like, "What's the fuck is this?" And they study their whole life on this, but I have a video of a father-son doing the counting and it's doing through patterns like it's one of the most
dude,
fucked up videos I've ever seen,
I
Layered
fucking love this video.
Oh, yeah,
Let's watch this, please.
Every time it hits the top, they clap.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Watch. Every time it hits the top.
Dane, that reminds me of like Yoni Mater.
Yeah.
Watch how shit
When it
changes.
starts filling up, it's where it gets weird.
They're like quantized.
They are, dude. So what?
Sick.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, that shit is fixed.
For the listeners, it's hard to explain.
It's just that tight. It's just tight.
But yeah, imagine like a rectangle vertical, and it's blocked out, and something. It's hard to explain for a listener of the show only, but each pixel on this rectangle is filled up through diagonal.
Yeah, I want every Anthony explain this.
Right, yeah.
Well, they'll do those diagonal
tell-
blocks,
you can-
and then they start disappearing.
I don't
like,
even know.
They don't clap as much.
Oh, I get it. So they're only just
Think of
counting on
Snake.
certain counts.
Snake
and then
on a
start-
Nokia.
They start with
Yeah,
the whole count, and then they take counts away and still count it on time.
Yeah,
Yeah, so all the all the open positions that it goes through. Is
yeah, and then they
where
start
they're-
going like that, you know,
Yeah.
in between.
It's like
every time that they
fucking
cross.
contortionist shit
They also have,
language.
like literally
Crazy.
like linguistic ways of counting rhythms like in crazy odd times. So it's like I was like, hey, I wrote this riff. It goes like,
Oh yeah, they're the Japanese.
and they're just like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You just like fucking speak Ripponese, whatever, like, and they're perfect, and it's like part of the musical language.
It's Tablanese, dude.
It's like we're like 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and, you know. Like,
The crazy part was the singer guy going along with John McLaughlin. He was going. He was
Yeah.
going like he's like.
yeah, totally.
I was like, what the fuck is? And I remember Trevor watching it, just going like, these guys are fucking not from Earth. I don't understand
Yeah.
what's going on with these people. Like, this is insane. And for John McLaughlin just to jump into that and just like understand all the time, like the East Indian timing or the Indian timing, I'm just like, and they're all like doing the clap together, like when they do their solos and stuff, and they're all keeping everyone in check and stuff, and just going like, and now. And, just like, and then like after like
they're
7
like, hey,
beats, they're like,
hey, you
now.
missed the of the taki did on the fourth, like,
Yeah. Fuck. But they would go like Zakir Hussain would just go like they'd like battle each other like faster than death metal, like it was like fucking insane, dude. I was like, it's the most death metal thing I've ever fucking seen.
I would
in the country.
definitely highly suggest Shakti's Natural Elements album if you're gonna dive into that shit, because it's an amazing album, and it's John McLaughlin, guys. Like, and if you don't know John McLaughlin, then what are we even talking about?
OG Shredder.
Yeah.
Here's some Ripponese for you. Let's see. Over the Mountain. Let's see if I can do it.
Pretty good. No, keep going. Yeah.
You got to do the triplets. You got to know those triplets, man. Yeah.
That would be like
There's a D in there. You're adding a D in there.
A fun thing to do would be like speak Ripponese, and then like, but it has to be like a crazy song. And like, if your Ripponese is good enough, then we should know what song, like what Spawn of Possession song, like a crazy song that you're like, that's like a out there song. Like, if your Ripponese is good enough, then we should be able to know. You know,
Ripponese competition. We'll have a tournament of who can.
Here's the first entry.
I know that one. Wait, I was like, wait.
Someone sounds. Okay, it's got to be Narcotic Wasteland.
Yeah, it's victims of the algorithm.
You can't make it that easy. It's your own band. Come on.
Yeah.
Easy for you.
Yeah.
You or me.
You for sure. But no, it's funny because we've created our own kind of like, just kind of outsider kind of like East Indian with like with death metal.
Yeah.
Like everyone speaks a different dialect of it. Everyone
like,
speaks a different dialect. That's
now
what's
everything's all like and it used to be like used to be like
Yeah.
you know, like everything now is like but now
You see, I always like to dig in a little more.
yeah.
So
I know.
I like to dig in a little more. So it's like ziggity diggity 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 diggity.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's got to be articulate, man. We're talking. You must speak the proper Ripponese.
The original Ripponese.
You know.
That's the original dialect.
Yeah. It's like Latin.
Right. Oh shit! Wait, you got a long old paragraph that just popped up in the chat right
We
here.
got
Yeah,
a great
it's
opportunity here.
Oh no, it's just promotion.
Yeah,
We got a
just
great
gave 'em-
opportunity to
Get
promote.
I'm
out of
talking
here. I'm not even gonna say your name.
I'm just kidding.
Chat bot. Yeah.
But it is
Yeah.
Ripponese, I would say, and I actually recently watched a video where in the hip hop setting, it was a guy who just had his ideas but didn't know how to translate it to piano, and he had a guy who was just brilliant on the piano that would just sit there and listen to his hums, and he would like
He'd do
bring
something
it to life.
do something way sicker than what he was thinking. You're like, yeah,
No,
that's what I
he was
thinking, dude.
actually no. It was funny hearing this guy hum these melodies and then do this here and then do that there, and then the guy would just fucking do it, and then a beat would come and it's just like boom, a song's made.
Yeah,
And so Ripponese is the same way for a vocalist or a drummer to translate their riff ideas to the guitar player, you know. And
oh yeah.
Good luck getting them to play it right.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
And because what's in my head never comes out the same.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, that's it. But trying
Like
to
it's
at
all
least-
like sick and epic and orchestrated in my head, and then it comes out like chin 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 chin.
just single
Yeah.
layered. Yeah, no, for
It's
sure.
actually a profound thing that you just said there, because that's what can happen. Like, that's the big struggle when it comes to, you know, writing and coming up with music, is we do have these crazy ideas in our head, but we're limited to what we can actually do in the physical world.
right.
Mhm.
And the only thing that we can do to combat that is to stay up on the chops. And that
Yeah.
way, and yeah, you're going to find some cool stuff, but don't use your chops to find it. Use your brain to find that. But
Yeah,
practice and try not to limit, because that's what you're talking about right there, Joe, is actually the damn struggle.
it is. Dude.
Yeah.
And
you
for a guy
that's why I
like-
you
don't
hear
have
all this
indeed.
big massive ideas, you know what I mean? And yeah, they get whittled down, just like writing lyrics to a song. You know, oh shit, I just wrote an entire chapter, and now I've got to try to whittle this down into a 3-minute song.
yeah, yeah.
You know, so there's always those challenges, but I think as long as you stick to your guns and just stick to what you're trying to do, you still get closer and closer to that goal of actually achieving what the epicness that you hear in your head and can
Yeah.
translate it
I
into
think
the
if you
instruments.
at the end of it, you should still feel like your original idea is somewhat within that, whether it expanded or sidestepped to your idea. There's still got to be somewhat of the original idea in there, and then that's literally what tells us we made it. We even if it is a full chapter of crazy storytelling that we got to whittle into 3 minutes, as long as your original idea is still in that final product, I think you successfully did it with that little piece of art, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you get a chance to sort of take all the best stuff from it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely want to strip it to the bloody bone and get the very best stuff and trim the fat, basically. You know?
Yep.
And then you've got, you know, a badass fucking punk song.
Hell yeah, dude. 3 minutes is actually the time if you want to stay in the algorithm. You gotta stay at that 3 minute mark, dude, because that's what gets you those multiple plays on all the streaming sites.
Yeah, how do you expand on riffs though if you're just in 3 minutes? Like I know I always like there's like a regular riff and I'll be like, oh, we could play it like this, or we could play it like this, or we could take like a piece of it and then loop that and then that'll be a new riff. We could play it half speed, we could play it double speed. There's like so many ways you could like change one riff to make like a shitload of riffs that it's always like 5-6 minutes.
Well, just to take it back to how we currently live, dude. Everybody's ADHD, you know, everybody's got to constantly have new stimulation. So after 3 minutes, I need to have something different.
What is it? Yeah, TikTok's got our attention spans down to like 11 seconds now, or 30 seconds.
Yeah, I read that. Yep.
Yeah.
Agoraphobic Nosebleed was way ahead of their time then, dude.
So they're part of the problem.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is like we have songs that are 3 minutes, 3 minutes 30 seconds. You know, and back in the like MTV or Headbangers Ball days, really kind of in order for your video for them to consider it, it needed to be within that 3 minute and 30 second window, and that was kind of how it was told to us, anyways. But the last song we put out, Sex Lies DNA, is actually over 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But when you're listening to it, it doesn't feel like it's over 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was not even intentional. So who knows, man? It's like we've seen it happen in rock and roll and metal over the years where the song just needs what the song needs, and it might mean that it's a 12-minute song, or it might mean that it's a 2.5 minute song, even, or even a 1 minute song, or a 30-second song. You know, so it's really just when it comes to time and BPM and all of this other shit, we really just need to follow your gut, follow your balls, follow your heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Feel it out.
I think it's reverted back a little bit. I think, you know, people are willing now. I mean, without the MTV and the radio, you know, like cutoffs and the radio edits and stuff like that. I think people, if they like a song, you know, if it's 12, like you said, 12 minutes long, like you'll listen to it. Like it's not, you kind of like there's some songs you listen to nowadays and you're like, it's a song, old song that you like that's like maybe 3 minutes and you're like, fuck, I want this to last longer, dude. This, you know, like you kind of feel like you got fed, like you're starving and you got like a little bite and you're like, dude, I'm still like hungry for more.
Now I could eat a whole plate.
Exactly. A garbage plate from Rochester. I don't know.
That's all they get you. They make you get you to play the song twice now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, no, you go back and listen to it again or something.
Which I've been doing. I'll kind of crack out on songs. Yeah. Like if I really, really like a song, like I'll kind of just play it all day sometimes until I'm like tired of it.
To my detriment, though, I do the same thing where I'll like ruin a song because I'll be like all about a song and then like I'm like, fuck, I've listened to it so many times, like I don't need to hear this for like 2 years now. And then when you hear it again in 2 years, you're like, oh my god, I forgot.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh shit, I love this song.
It's like, listen,
and then you know like all of it.
Yeah, I went back to an old Slayer. I went back to Divine Intervention, Seasons of the Abyss the other day, and I was like, fuck, I haven't heard this in 5 years, and this is like my childhood. This is nostalgia. This is like everything. I mean, I was getting the feelings I felt like when I originally heard it, and I'm just going like, this is fucking sick. And Slayer's kind of like, you know, obviously they're an old band. Everyone's Slayered out and stuff, but like listening to it again, and just throwing it on again, just like sitting back and listening to a Slayer album, just like this is fucking where it all came from for me. This is, you know, it really hits sometimes where I'm just like, this is amazing. I love this album, you know.
Oh yeah, and songs like that, man, you might get tired of it again and take another 10-year break off of it. But when you come back to it, it's going to come back with a vengeance like you've never felt in your life. You're going to cry, dude. You're going to
Oh yeah, it's happened.
I have this theory or philosophy about music and all that shit. I've mentioned it on the show many times. All the hosts on the show retell things over and over again. If you're the first time listening to this, this is the first time you're going to hear it. But I believe that there's a connection that we make with certain albums or bands or whatever that are so powerful that we can't get enough of it until we kind of have to put it away for a while. So you put it back up on the shelf. You literally plug it back into the USB and recharge that shit while you're away from it, to where when you come back, it's going to have just as much energy and aggressiveness and all this what you're looking for in that album. It's right there. You just got to have a distance, distance makes the heart grow fonder type deal. We really fall in love with these things. And then, but we take so much of them on that we have to, take our time away for them in order to really rekindle the connection, because we drained the battery.
Or you like jam something else and then you come back to it and you could appreciate it more after you've jammed whatever else for a while.
Also, it's a time capsule. You get to go back to that time that you were obsessed with it. You think about like the age in which you got, like, I played it 300 times, and it kind of brings you back to a time in history of your life. You're like, oh, I remember I was driving this car and I was doing this thing. I had this job. I had this girlfriend. Life was at this point. What was going on? It's like, so that's actually why I like putting things on the back burner and then coming back to it, and it just rehashes like, life that you haven't thought about in a long time.
Do you guys have certain places that you drive that will just make you immediately think about one album? Yeah.
There's certain times that albums have hit for me where I'm like, or a song or something has hit, like, and it just like hit me like aggressively. And I remember just driving. Like, hey, there's been times like with Opeth or Cynic or something where it's like, I'm just listening on my own and everyone's forced to listen to my music, and I'm just like, and it's like a grassy like the amber waves of grain in the middle of America. And I'm sitting there just going like, and just looking at all of it, and it just like the lyrics are matching up with what I'm seeing or something, and it just like will hit me, and I'm just like, fuck, like this is so sick. And to me it's just a quick little moment, but then I'll 15 years later be like, oh, that was sick that time. Like, you don't remember most moments. And music is so, I mean, we're doing this over music, but it's like so like powerful. I think it's can be replaced for medication in a lot of cases with people that are going through depression. And so it's brought me out of like deep depression, where I was heard one song and I'm having a terrible week, and all of a sudden I'm back to normal. And I'm like, oh fuck, I'll just come out of it through a song.
It's like,
any of you guys ever try binaural beats?
No, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's such a fascinating concept for me. I've always been into like, sound influencing state. So that's just like super cool.
Yeah, I've heard about it's like a sound therapy kind of thing, right?
It's like, I guess they like, the way I was maybe explained to it was like you have one frequency in the ear and then a slightly different frequency in the other ear, and it creates a wave, and your brain also creates waves. So your brain also creates waves at a certain frequency, and you can actually sync up the waves to your brain waves, and then when you alter it, it changes your brain waves as well. And so it could like actually like affect your state, like your mood. Like there's I don't know. I never tried it. So
there's
like one to make you like sleepy. There's one to give you energy. The's one to like.
That's how they control you, man.
Induce, like,
there's
fear.
one that makes you want to stop at Amazon for some reason.
Probably.
I was gonna say, Kenji's like, oh, I've been doing that for a while, dude. I just put a capo on my left ear, dude.
Oh, there you go.
That's how I close off my argument. Mute.
God damn.
It brings down the frequency on the left side.
Yeah. It takes it down a level.
But I mean, I think with all of us in our history of being humans, like there's been times where we've been having hard times, and you hear a song, and all of a sudden you're like, ugh.
Well, what I was alluding to was like music being imprinted in like a specific memory of driving up a certain road to where the next time you drive that road, no matter what you're thinking about, somehow that song pops in your head again, you know?
Yeah.
And that definitely does happen to me. And
It's definitely happened to me too. Yeah.
There's a few different places where I drive, and no matter what I'm thinking about, I'll eventually think about a song or an album that I was listening to at a specific time, and it wouldn't even be like a new album, but it would just be like something happened in my brain chemistry at a certain moment to where this song was imprinted with driving down this road. I don't know what what caused it or whatever, you know. It's like I've listened to the song many times, I've driven down this road many times, but there was that one time that I listened to this song on this road, and forever I will think about it together now. I don't know.
That's interesting, because I guess my driving experience with music was never to a specific road. It was just the act of driving and kind of listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the albums that will always come to mind is one of my favorites, definitely in my top 10 metal albums of all time, and that's Sanctuary, Refuge Denied.
Mm-hmm.
That is just a massive metal, more of a thrash metal, classic heavy metal like masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And
does that bring you back to? Does it bring you back to when you first heard it though? Like when you listen to it, does it bring you back any nostalgia?
I would say it wouldn't necessarily bring me back to nostalgia. Of course, you know, like we said, you know, you have an album that you love very much. You may take many year hiatus from it because you're just listening to other shit, or you're doing shit, or you're playing shit. But then when you revisit it, it's like hypnosis almost. You're just like, oh wow, this is way better than I even remembered it. And that was one of those records. And now, you know, I think I listened to that a little bit about a week ago. And it was just like, there's certain albums, and it probably does have to do with it being in a certain time in our lives when we discovered it.
Right.
But, you know, as the years go by, as 30 years go by, you know what I mean? Like, you revisit that album and you're just like, man, this is just getting better every time.
Dude, those are the real,
you know, that's a good fucking album.
Totally, dude, because I have so many so many albums that I remember them being way more of an impact on me at the time than I see them as now, you know?
Or you go revisit an album and it ruins it, seeing it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like going back to that
like
one
movies.
restaurant and ordering the same meal, and then the meal fucking wasn't anywhere near what it was that one
Yeah,
time.
you remember it way sicker.
Yeah, totally, dude. And so those
time will tell the timelessness of them, or some of them are just like, I don't even know why the fuck I ever liked that.
Or what about if you guys ever had like a song that you used to know that you haven't played in like 10 years, and then you just all you need is the first note, and then you just go through the whole fucking song.
Oh yeah.
I actually am like that with my lyrics, dude. If I can go all the way back to my high school shit, and kind of, if I get a little trigger, I can spit some lines, you
like
know?
the whole song. Yeah, that's how a lot of shit is too for me.
I'm like totally not like that, actually.
Really?
I mean, I didn't even write even write most of the Odious Cryptic Implosion, but I can cite.
There was times during, but no, Casey, there was times during Odious we'd have Decrepit Birth practice and then like Odious practice after, and it was for fun, just for like, because we weren't practicing at all, and we would just like all of a sudden I'd be playing, and I'm like, I don't know what's coming next. I'm like, oh yeah, this is coming next. This is coming next.
You get like cued as the song goes by. Like every little riff cues you for the next riff.
Exactly. If you were to start me in the middle of the song, I'd be like, I have no fucking clue what's going on. But I need that cue.
I had to
like,
practice
to the next
all
part.
the time,
You know what I mean?
To remember it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
How does the first riff go? And then that's all I need. Yeah.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah.
The first three notes, and then okay, and then you just do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a strange phenomenon, but we all can attest to it, dude.
There's been times playing like live where we've done the song a million times and we're fully practiced, where I'm like, there's a 2 riffs ahead that I'm like randomly thinking about, and I'm like, I have no idea what's coming up after this next riff. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know and then all of a sudden, like, I'll play, like, the riff will come, and I'm like, oh yeah, that.
That's why I try to write drums with like cues. Like, I'll do a different fill after. I'll do like the same repeat, but I'll do like, you know, a different ending on each repeat. You know, I'll do a different fill. And then subconsciously that cues the band. They don't even realize they're paying attention, but they're just like, oh yeah, I'm about to go into this.
Yeah.
And then it's like the cues, you know what I mean?
Yep, definitely.
If you're playing 4/4, like those old school songs, like, I don't know, I teach for like a school of rock, so we play a lot of like old school, like, I don't know, they're lame to play on drums songs. And they just like, you know, just keep the 4/4. And then, you know, like, where am I at? I don't even know.
That's gotta be fun though, just to like, because especially playing such fast music, one thing that we lose definitely is like playing the slower tempos and like getting just in the pocket, just chilling, like not because it's so much harder. Like, even Chris Beatty posted a video of him just doing like a clean riff, and he's still like, but him just having to be like mellow and like having to listen to the click and stuff. All of a sudden, you're
definitely displays control. That's for sure. Yeah.
Because if you're going like the whole time, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, let's play something at 4/4 that's like a mellow song. You're like still going fast. You know, you're like, all right, chill the fuck out. Let's space, breathe a little bit. And that was
kind of something I like about Narcotic Wasteland, actually, is we have some slower epics. You know, we have a few slower that you just get to like Hulk smash, you know, just like smash those beats, you know. And then I go back to the blast, and then it seems faster than it actually, you know, would feel if I was just blasting the whole set. There's like a little contrast there.
Yeah.
I definitely like contrast. You know, I love playing fast. It's brutal. It makes me want to punch people in the face. I totally get it. And it's a fun thing to do, but not for every song, you know. I like to get a little bit more melancholic, even maybe elements of doom in there, you know, slower, crunchy stuff. It's all about, I don't know, just kind of expressing what you want to talk about in the song. You know?
Right.
Not just that, but having different musical directions and not just being completely just, you know, that like that computer spitting out paper like just all the time. And I love that shit. Don't get me wrong. We definitely got some songs like that, but you know, it's not. It's more than that. It's, you know, trying to create something that, you know, people can relate to, and and giving them a huge scope of things. Maybe they like this song. Maybe they don't like this song. Maybe they like all of it. Maybe they hate all of it. But having some options in there, you know, as a player as well, you don't, you know, just pinhole yourself into this, you know, BPM insanity all the time.
No, I agree with that. Especially
kind of takes away. I like to play. I like to play from the gut. I like to play from the heart. I like to have some chops too. That's nice. You know, I kind of like the best of both worlds in that regard.
Are you guys playing to a click at all? Because you said like you like the, you know, coming from the heart. Are you guys doing click or no?
I played a track.
He plays to the track. He mostly is probably listening to my recorded rhythm guitars in his ears.
Okay.
No, it's the album with the 8 count on it.
He just listens to the album. He plays.
Yeah.
It's got the drums on it and everything. Fuck it.
And we just
that's how I practice it. I just play to the album.
Listen to Joe. Yeah.
That's how you guys all practice it. Probably like chilling at home, having a little practice session, like listen to the album, jam to it. So it's like, I know that.
Yeah, we don't get to rehearse, so we have to just know it. So we all play into the same tracks. We're good.
The audience kind of brings like the you know, like you're sitting there, especially being a headliner, you're sitting there all day, trying to get, you know, getting ready for the. It's kind of like a little bit of a suspense going on, and like sometimes when you're in the moment and if you're kind of free, you could go like, okay, we got to make sure there's like something that's not working or something. Like it could get like this kind of hyper energy, and you kind of don't pay attention to speeds or anything, but if the drummer's just chill, if you're just listening to the album, kind of like, all right, just chill to it, you know, like don't get excited, because I get so excited I have no idea what, if it's slow or fast. I have no idea, you know.
Yeah, there's only been a couple nights
Yeah.
Where like I didn't have the phone or something like that, or like we had a technical difficulty and we weren't hearing. I'm just like, nope, no tracks, and we just smashed it, which was also really fun because then I get to like really listen to these dudes and like feel the song now. And then like I feel like I'm just like kind of just like, you know, like 1-inch punching like every hit, like, you know, like
Bruce Lee style, dude.
yeah.
All of a sudden, all the tempos go.
No, I try to hold it. I try and hold it.
No, actually, Joe is very consistent. But yeah, you know, and you know, he's listening to the tracks that keeps him tight, and I listen to him to keep me tight, and it's just that's the way it is. And but all of us, we're, you know, for me, for instance, if I know we have a stream of shows coming up. So at least about a month before that, I'm going to be hitting the full set list by myself at least 3 times a week. At least. And on the weekends, I may even do it up some more and then play guitar after that and have a few drinks and have some fun and just play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I'll do like every day for 2 weeks before we start, just so I'm up on my shit too.
That way everybody walks in, they're just ready.
Yeah, yeah.
How long did you guys get to jam together as a band before you guys went out on this last run? 0.
A day?
0.
We did a day at Joe's house.
Oh, I wasn't there. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Kenji's
Kenji
like
missed the
never
day. Yeah, Kenji just showed up. Done. He
Kenji showed up.
Ready.
showed up with his
They had
chapstick.
journey anyways. It doesn't matter.
His lips were nice and moist from the chapstick.
Yeah.
And,
But no, I mean, that's always been my etiquette, though. That's always been my etiquette. Like, even if the band is allowed a week or so rehearsal, which we have had some rehearsal times before we went out a few times. You know, I know a couple places we can rent that are pretty awesome, and you can play all night, no big deal. So we have done that before, but I'm not going to waste. I don't care if you're joining my band or I'm joining your band. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to walk in there fucking ready,
prepared. Yeah,
because that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, you're a professional.
I try to be.
Practice at home, rehearsals.
Well, you were
rehearsal.
jealous of Niall to me, so I'm always like, he's a pro, dude. I've told you about it on the last episode, but last time we were on Black Seeds era tour at Great American Music Hall was a turning point in my fucking death metal life. And it was the professional aspects of you guys coming and fully giving me a show at 16, you know. I was forever changed that night. So that's why I always will look at Dallas as a professional, dude.
Well, thank you, man. And, you know, I definitely, I work hard at it. You know, like I said, I wouldn't walk into any rehearsal situation half-assed ever, because I've always just 100% been about doing this and enjoy it. I enjoy practicing by myself. And you know, I think I wouldn't know personally from other bands, but I've seen it in some other guitar players where, you know, definitely they practice on their downtime. But if you really want to stay up on your stuff stamina-wise, burst that set list, man. That's really what's going to kick your ass. You can sit and practice scales and all that stuff, and that's really good. I don't say that's bad, but standing up with your guitar and playing all the songs in your set list, especially if it's, you know, Narcotic could do an hour and 30 minutes if we probably wanted to, you know what I mean? So it's like, so if you're at least doing an hour of just the set list, which is not, you know, some of those songs actually suck to play if you haven't had a few songs in you yet.
Yeah, dude, this is definitely music that if you don't use it, you lose it. You could just like straight up, I just can't blast after I don't do it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Or like at least, you know, I have to like go on a severe like almost weight training battle to get back up to speed before I meet up with these dudes.
It's very true, dude. That is true.
Now that actually we've gotten to that, Dallas have, because there was a, you know, like Black Dahlia Murder took Decrepit out when we'd done one small little tour, and they were just like they were on their nocturnal big, it was already sold out tour, and so we didn't know what professionalism was on the road and stuff. Was there a band when you were on tour like back in the day that you were like, all right, we have to strengthen our game, get everything more because I remember Black Dahlia was like they were super cool to us, and it was like 2006 or 5 or something like that, and they were just like, all right, they would help us. They'd be like, all right, just don't ever do this, don't ever do that, just like make sure this is clean and blah blah. But like I remember we were like kind of in the just trial by fire, just like thrown into 1,000 people a night shows, and we were just like we were like terrified but tried to act cool about it. But what was the tour or something that you've done that were like a band or that showed you like, all right, this is what you have to do to be a professional band?
Well, one of the early more, we got pretty lucky to, in Nile, we got pretty lucky to open for Morbid Angel during the Formulas era.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
And that was, I hadn't recorded with the band yet, but we were supporting Nefren Ka. And we got on with them thanks to Mr. John McEntee of Incantation, because we had done a tour with him previously, and that tour actually with Morbid Angel Incantation was on, and Vader had to unfortunately drop off of that tour, and we got the call, and we did it, and then we ended up getting to tour with him again and stuff. And, very good friend of mine named, Nick, aka Punchy Gonzalez, was their tour manager, and those guys definitely had a lot of insight on, the ins and outs of touring and just, trailer packing and being proficient and all that stuff. So that was a pretty good item, because those guys were pretty high profile and goddamn pro as shit. They just, they came in, did sound check and left, and they came in and destroyed everybody and left. And it's like an oiled machine. And that was the first chance for all of us to really get that oiled machine feel.
Yeah.
But you brought up Black Dahlia Murder. The first time I heard of those guys, they were on tour with us. It was Black Dahlia Murder, Behemoth, us, and King Diamond.
Oh, I saw that tour, and that's one of the last shows at the time.
I missed that fucking show, dude.
Yeah,
I missed it. I didn't get a ticket. I bitched out.
Okay,
didn't have enough money.
That was a great tour. So that was in probably 2005. And fast forward to like 2012, I think it was, we're opening for Black Dahlia Murder. So I couldn't tell you how fucking proud I was to see those dudes like do that. I was like, fuck yeah, man. And they were always kind of super cool. And, I got to talk to Brian a little bit on that tour. That was really cool. And that was a great tour. So speaking of the professionalism that you're talking about, I mean, those guys just kind of got it right out of the gate. Knew what it was going to take.
They were like the perfect balance.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
And brothership. Like they were like Trevor, very real dude. Like specifically, like that dude was the same no matter who he was talking to, and then to be a pro on top of that, it's just a win-win situation, That's why they had, done this for 20 years.
Even the Morbid Angel connection with what Dallas' story was. I mean, I don't know. I know Eric Rutan probably wasn't in the band at the time, but
he actually was. He was touring with them at the time. Yeah.
Okay. Hate Eternal was Hate Eternal, Decrepit, Black Dahlia. So like seeing like fucking Eric's fucking response to things and stuff. I know he was like, this is fucking legit shit. You guys gotta fucking make every show. You got, like you can't fuck around. This is like you. And he that's the whole story I've told a million times on here. He had like 104 temperature, and he was like, I had to go up there and tell him while he was sweating his ass off with like rags all over him, and like I'm like, you're up, dude. You have to go on. He just took all the fucking sweaty shit off and went there and did a normal show. And you know, when he turned his back to the amps or to the crowd, he was like pain faced, like dying. But like, he's like, you can't miss these shows, dude. You cannot. This is like the time you have to. These guys have got it together. All these shows are sold out. You cannot fucking fuck around. And I was like, Eric Rutan telling me that. I was like, all right, well, the new kids on the block have Rutan's attention, and I am now listening. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, the show must go on, man. I've been sick on the road before a couple of times and had fevers and God knows what. Probably had the damn Brovid 16, you know what I mean? Whatever the hell. But like, it was rough, and you have to get out there and you get through it. Luckily, a good healer in those moments is that adrenaline. Like,
yeah,
it'll get you through.
Right.
And a lot of times, and you just got to pace yourself and just getting up there and sweating that shit out.
But there's no guarantees once the show's over. Once the show's over, you might fall right back into worse shit than you did. But that's what it is. It's
you go to sleep and just repeat.
Yeah. But it's that going on. That's the drug that we all are chasing, really, if you're going to be a live performer, which I haven't done it in a while, and I actually do itch for it. It is a drug, dude. And that's what's going to get you through those harder times, because you at the core of yourself know that that's better than being sick. You're literally like, fuck being sick, dude. I'd rather do this. Fuck your whatever is inside my billions of microbes in my body right now.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Live or die. I'm still gonna do this shit.
Yeah. No retirement plan for fucking death metal. Just keep it going. You know, I mean, for me, I remember like the excitement of knowing that I was gonna play with all these cool bands or whatever, and I was like so excited. And I would get there, and for the first, like if it was a big tour or something, for the first 2 weeks, I'd be just like kind of like this freak out. Just get it done. I can't wait for it to be over. Like, I just want, you know, I'm like, and then after I get in that sweet spot, I'm just like, oh, I'm going to have the most fun with this that I've ever had in my life. But in the beginning and the hype up to it, for whatever reason, my like weird social anxiety just like makes it a way bigger deal than it is. And then I like get in my head, and like, I'm the suspense getting up to the stage and all the things like just drive me insane.
And you're uprooted from your like normal, you know, routine, you know, you're at home working all the time, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm on the road with a bunch of dudes that are farting and burping and not showering,
letting them feed out,
you know. I stuck in a fucking little bubble with these guys, you know.
Home sweet home.
and
I call it the void of entropy, because just everything gets lost in there in the van.
Oh yeah, the most random shit gets lost.
It's
like, dude, how do I lose everything?
It's strange how comforting that van becomes. Actually, like,
yeah,
back to it. Yeah.
I during the bloodletting tour, I flew back home, missed a show. I was in my uncle's wedding, and dude, getting back in the van after all that, like coming back and first of all, being at home was like, I shouldn't be here right now. That's what I was feeling the whole time. Like, I'm turning on the Lindemar Boulevard in my fucking hometown right now when I'm in tour mode. It's weird, you know?
Yeah, it's weird. Just jump out of it.
And then getting back into the van and smelling the farts, I was just like, this is where I should be, dude.
This is my pheromones.
No, really. I
genuinely, nostalgia.
I had this like uplift, like weight off my shoulders feeling when I was back in the van with you guys. It was so strange, dude. And I was actually jealous that I missed one show, but you guys held it down and still played instrumental, right?
No, I mean, Dan sang.
Dan did get on the mic. Sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And there's also like, you know, a broship that happens when you go and play every night with some homies. Like, you end up really close to these people, and then you don't get to see them for like a year. Or like, you know, 6 months, I haven't even seen you. How are you? You know, you get super stoked to see everyone, you know.
No, I'm very lucky that these guys were my best friends at the time. They're still my best friends now. And that was one of those times that upped my brothership with these guys right here. And that's why I'm doing a show with them today.
Like, how exciting is just like leaving for tour, though? Like when you're like all packed up and you're leaving for tour. You're like,
it's exciting once I'm fully packed.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything's done, and
everything's stressful up until that day.
Door closes, and you guys like start driving together. You know, it's like, all right, here we go, onward. Let's do this. You know,
it's a relief. Once I'm in the van and it's like we're going, and it's like I'm already packed. Like everything's ready. All I got to do is start the tour.
Yeah,
you know, then I'm like stoked. Yeah.
Just tap your wallet, tap your cell phone, be like, all right, I guess I'm good. Let's go.
There's always so much going on at home, and I gotta like make sure everything's gonna be cool when I get back. Like I just got done moving. Like this is a new spot. Like
oh shit.
Oh damn, nice.
Completely new spot.
So Joseph Howard's tour list. Let's hear that real quick. What's at the very top of the list? Obviously, weed. And how much do you bring?
I don't bring any. I end up flying in, but it finds me.
There you go.
It finds me everywhere I go.
Hell yeah.
And then you know, Brady always
crossing the border was a little. We had to like to get rid of
make sure everything's gone. Stop at a gas station.
Yeah, there you go.
Stop at a gas station. Get rid of the pipes. Like.
Yeah.
I'll leave my pipe like somewhere, like in a bush or something before we. Or I'll give it to somebody if I'm at a show and we're smoking with somebody. I'll be like, "Yo, here's the rest of my weed, and here's
How funny
the bowl."
is those right before the Canada things, and you have to just try to like power smoke everything.
You power smoke it, and then you give the rest away, so you don't have anything just to cross the border, and then you get weed immediately after you cross the border. Again.
As they approve you, they
which was so crazy.
And like. I don't know, like people know I smoke, so like when they come, they're like, "Hey, bro, like let's go, fire it up," and then you know, like it just finds me. Like after a while, like I don't really worry about weed.
Hell yeah,
yeah.
I actually lose weed. Like this jar is like, all right, the censored part of the video. All this weed, like I lost it. It was just like in some stuff. I was about to go. I actually bought weed for the first time in a long time, and then like I was going through my stuff as I was unpacking, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And it was this, and it was like I got all this weed. I was like, "Oh shoot, all right, cool." It was after the fact.
So it literally found you without even another human. It just came into your life, dude.
Yeah, like little stashes everywhere.
You fired
that I forget about just because, like, you know, like I just do like an ounce. So that way it saves money over time.
Yeah.
The Denver, you buy by the ounce.
I buy by the ounce too.
Yeah, when I was there was
why it's cheaper. And then like I don't have to go all the time. I hate dispensaries.
Yeah.
You know,
the people.
It's all about homies. You know, I was starting it, or I was smoking when it was illegal still here.
Yeah.
And like had the homies then. People were always hitting me up. Like, "Hey, could I get some of your stuff?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm not trying to deal, you know." I'm not trying to be everybody's dealer.
What were you trying to say, Casey?
Hello, can you hear me?
Check.
Okay.
The other Howard.
Yes, fellow Howard. Yes. Yeah, no, for sure, man. I was just gonna say, like in Japan, no weed, you know.
Oh yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even try, but it was like I knew it was like not cool, you know.
Yeah. No firearms, no drugs, nothing in Japan.
Yeah, no, none of that. Yeah.
There's plenty of fucking.
Yeah, no worries there. If you don't find it, don't find me. Don't find me.
Didn't matter.
Just only girls' panties and vending machines. That's the only thing that's legal there.
Okay. Yeah. I got
never been, so I gotta try to go.
You gotta find the vending machine.
Oh yeah, for the vending machine. Yeah, that's why. I'm just saying I've never been.
Casey, were you
Even
just,
overseas at all?
what were you guys drinking? Cocktails or beers or what was going on out there?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, all kinds of stuff. They have all the cocktails and like highballs and like the drinks with soju and like drinks with sake and all that.
Sake, I was just gonna ask.
Yeah. And, like sake is cool, you know, like all that. But I kind of like the drinks with sake more. There's like a sparkling sake they have out there. That's
Ooh,
really
yeah.
good. It's only 5%, and it's like it's pretty sweet, but it's like a really good flavor. It's like a sparkling sake that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I just drank a shy, a beer, a lager. A shy.
Yeah, totally.
That's a Japanese beer. What, like Sapporo?
They said a shot of beer. I was like, you took a shot of beer.
Sapporo, Kirin, or whatever.
Sapporo,
Yeah, Sapporo, Asahi, Kirin are the basic three.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sapporo
their
Reserve was
Coors
like
Light, Bud
6 or
Light
7%.
for Japan, right? It's Sapporo.
Yeah, totally.
That's like it's available everywhere. Kind
Japanese
of
are
Yeah.
into whiskey too. I think there's
Yeah,
some
yeah, I
good
love
Japanese
Japanese
whiskey,
whiskey.
dude.
I just don't
Honestly,
really
I
drink
remember
liquor, so
along-
I was like, yeah.
a long time ago, a friend was like, I'm obsessed with Japanese whiskey, and I was like, all right, let me try it. And I was like, and it was cheap as fuck at the liquor store, and I was like, all right, I'm a little worried at the price, but let's just try it out. And I tried it. I was like, this is better than like American whiskey.
Were you just drinking it on the ice or whatever?
I was just taking
Or
shots, of
taking
it,
shots of it? Yeah.
and I was like, this is way easier to drink than normal.
Yeah, there's a whole
bourbon.
school behind it because Japanese whiskey is inspired by Scotch. And, you know, one of the founders went to Scotland. He actually married the Scottish girl and brought the whole family back to Hokkaido, which is the northern part of Japan. Shares the same type of climate. So they use the same type of barrel, which is less peated, and that's why it's very similar to high-end Scotch.
But Scotch is
Oh.
usually smoky. I don't remember it being very smoky tasting.
Yeah, so it's less peated due to the temperature and the high elevation. It's because of the high elevation, the boiling point is different. That's why it's a slight difference in that, where they kind of perfected that. Where, you know, Japan has the obsession over dry things. You know, Asahi, Sapporo, Kirin, they're known for their dryness. They refer to it as dry beer, where it's like dries your mouth almost and just very smooth aftertaste. And that's kind of the same thing with whiskey too. It's just very smooth. It doesn't really leave an aftertaste. You know, there is some that does that too, but you know, if you get the usual Yamazaki, the Suntory stuff, yeah, it's gonna be very, very smooth.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's an underrated country for alcohol. I'm saying.
Well, I mean, Japanese whiskey, people who know about it, they know about it because it's been winning all these awards. So it's been, you know, since like 2012, it's been kind of becoming known. And yeah, and I'm a bartender, so that's why I know all this stuff. And I have to like, and I will go around educating people about that. But yeah, definitely like Yamazaki, if you get to the high end, it's very comparable to like Blue Label and stuff like that.
Okay. So Blue Label though is a Scotch though, right? So it's a little
So it's you know, what I'm saying is, you know, it's like a $200 bottle, which you can get for Yamazaki for like $75. So you can pretty much get something very similar in quality for a much cheaper price.
Okay. So it's like the cars. You guys are just ruining us with
Well,
cars and alcohol. So many better things.
Like Japanese Jackson guitars and stuff. Like there's so many like Yamaha drums. Like there's so many like versions of like music equipment that's Japanese made from the 80s into the 90s and stuff, like all the eras that are like as high of quality as American made ones for like a quarter of the price. Like, you know, I love Japanese made.
We invented the VCR. They made it better.
The Japanese were kind of known for like taking other people's stuff and just kind of expanding on it. They don't really innovate, is what I realized. You know, it just kind of, they take other people's stuff and just make it a little bit, you know, like their way. I don't know if it's necessarily better, but you know, like the toilet, right? It's like, I don't like wiping my ass. Let's see what we can do about that.
I don't know. I think that's very innovative.
Yeah.
Innovation is the wrong word because
do it too. Like, of course, China made stuff and all that, but like, I feel like Japanese made stuff is like still like really crazy quality, like comparable,
superior quality, in a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm talking about vintage guitars too, like the Japanese guitars made in the 80s are still some of the
Japanese.
Oh
yeah, all that stuff, or like a Nagoya, Japan made BC Rich.
Oh yeah, back in the day
with the Kaler tremolo and all that. Yeah, man, that was some real quality shit actually.
Why don't more guitar companies? Is that? I mean, fuck. There should be a Japanese model because the American model is always known as like the one you're gonna pay $5,000 for. So there should be.
Jackson actually has a Japanese line now because of the legacy of the Japanese Jacksons.
Yeah.
They were really good quality, just like the Mexican Strats.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
There was some offshore. There are offshore companies that make good stuff. It's not I'll tell you, one of the worst guitars I've ever had was made in the USA. I hate to say that, but I think it had issues.
Doesn't mean that it's going to be the best. I mean, there's been guitars that like not to. There's like guitar players like what's his name? The guy from Rage Against the Machine. He has like a $300 guitar. he's only used the $300 guitar his whole life because he liked it, and that was it. It's not like he didn't need to get like. I mean, obviously, it's not like a gnarly shredder guy that I was trying to point out, but still, like he's a $300 guitar. He didn't spend $5,000. He spent $300, and there's been so many of those stories of like people going to pawn shops and buying these cheap guitars or whatever, and they find it and they're like, oh, this is the guitar. This is it for my.
That's funny you say that. I bought this one in a pawn shop.
Oh, really? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. Is it one thing with Jackson and with all Flying V guitars? What I want again, but I know that Gibson sues the fuck out of people for it. Is that it's the old Kerry King hockey puck reverse neck or reverse headstock. Because they sued the fuck out of ESP for that, and then those are like $20,000 a piece now if you want one. But like, there's certain like foreign companies that'll do it, like Rand Guitars and these companies, but like they've been sued out of existence, American guitars, for having the reverse headstock Flying V. It's like it's like this big thing where like Gibson's like, no, dude, we got the patent, dude. Fuck you guys, we're done. You can't do. And the guitar player for Limp Bizkit, he wanted one, and so he got a left-handed guitar neck and put it on a right-handed guitar body, and then just so Jackson's like upside down on there. And I was like, fuck, dude, I want that guitar, dude. That's like, that's like, I don't know, something about like when I was a kid watching Kerry King play with that reverse headstock and headbanging. I was like, something about it pointing this way.
Yeah.
And being, I was like,
upward.
Like it's like feng shui. It just works. I don't know what it is. It's the right order of directions. I have no idea. But most guitar companies won't do it. And it's a trip to me. I think it's Gibson's fault.
Well, no. Gibson actually had issues with Dean guitars because of the V thing. Gibson also had an issue with Ibanez because they were making what they call lawsuit Les Pauls. And they also made lawsuit V's, and they made lawsuit Explorers. And they go really high on the collector's market. They're really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got fucked with from Gibson, and then Dean got fucked with from Gibson too. And then Gibson opened that can of worms up again. But actually, I read a thing the other day that kind of indicates Dean Guitars has actually got some other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Did you see that? What was it? Guitar World, wasn't it?
Yeah. I've been, but there's just lawsuits with Gibson, and Dean's actually kind of going under, right?
Yeah, something about Armadillo Enterprises and a bunch of other shit, man. Like I was like, damn. I hope all that stuff, all the allegations and all that bullshit's not true. You know what I mean? But I did read the full article just because I was like, what? Because they seem to be doing so well as a company. The company that basically is responsible for, Dean Guitars, Luna Guitars, and D-Drum. They're going through some serious stuff right now. I think the interview was in Guitar World.
Damn.
What is it like? Patent lawsuits? Like?
No, some stuff internally actually.
Okay.
Pretty interesting read. Yeah.
Okay.
Check it out. I was like, wow, that's nuts and sad for the name because they make good stuff. I kind of switched over to Jackson a few years ago, but they make great shit. They still make great shit.
I remember seeing you on Dean's website. Were you endorsed by them or?
Yeah, I think I remember.
We were endorsed by them, and Carl actually is still endorsed by them for sure.
Oh,
Because he's got a signature model. They made me a couple of killer customs. I owned a bunch of the Dean guitars. They're great. They were really good. But I just started getting into Jackson because of a friend of mine, and he had a couple around, and I wasn't tuning the same, or it was kind of a different animal, and and I just love the neck profiles. And actually, I've owned some more expensive Jacksons than the JS models that I play, and I didn't like them as much, so I got rid of them. And so it's like, I don't know. For me, I don't really need kind of like that guy you were talking about earlier. I don't really need like a super expensive guitar.
Yeah.
They just need my ingredients, which is my pickups and a good fret dressing, and then just play the shit out of it.
What's a fret dressing?
Basically, when you get a setup, like they make sure that they're level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they level them and make sure you have no buzzes, or anything like that. And then basically they go back through and crown them with this tool to kind of reshape the fret.
Yeah.
So you don't
Make
want
it like round again, or what? Because they're like round, right?
It makes it a little more round again. Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Which I don't mind a little bit of a flat spot. You're going to have one anyway if you got to have to do a heavy leveling. But actually, these JS models, they don't need very much leveling.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have like maybe a couple of high spots from the factory. And I had much other issues with some of my more expensive Jacksons that I had. Like,
yeah,
I was having some neck and some quality issues with this thing. These bolt-ons were like way easier to fix.
Yeah, when you get into like music instruments and stuff, like you kind of look at the price and be like, oh, it's better. Like your brain kind of like does this like dialing of like looking at prices, like, oh, that thing's only $800. It's probably not that good. The $3,000 one's got to be way better. Like your brain like will immediately be like, and there's like, oh, the only difference is like the pickup and the neck wood or something. It's like the only difference, and you're kind of like, well, it's better because and that's actually how they can get people like paying so much money for instruments, just going like, oh, we're gonna put $2,000 on this one because Avenged Sevenfold plays it and it's better. That's all you need to know. It's better. And you're like, and I played like, I remember like when I worked at Guitar Center for a year, and I played a Telecaster that was $300, and I was like, this is the easiest playing guitar I've ever played in my life. This is like the sickest guitar I've ever played. It's a Telecaster, so obviously it's not gonna have the output, but I was like, the neck, it was smooth as a fucking. There was 50,000 guitars or $50,000 guitars we had in our platinum room that I'd play, and I'd be like, this thing sucks. I hate this thing. This is like the worst guitar I've ever played. And like I'd play the $200 guitar and be like, I need one of these, and want to hot rod it and make it work somehow. But yeah, it's like the price in musical instruments really kind of like skews you on what's good or what's bad,
Yeah. And when it comes to wanting to maybe spend a little bit more money on a guitar, but not spend like $2,000 and $3,000, but still get something that's maybe better than your lowest tier. There's a couple of, if you wanted to, there's a few like Charvel models out there. For instance,
oh yeah,
that's on the used market. Even you can get an awesome like Model 4 or Model 6 or something like that for less than what they're charging. That guitar is going to be way fucking better than any.
This Charvel is like $800, $900. It's like one of the best guitars I've ever owned.
Oh, dude, yeah. You can't fuck with Charvel, dude.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
I have a Star Body that I actually was touring with and recorded with Narcotic early on, like 2017 on up. And so I started getting into the Jacksons, which they're pretty similar anyways. Obviously, they're owned by Fender now. But like, yeah, the Charvel models they're always really good quality. It doesn't matter if you spend $300 or $3,000 on a Charvel, it's going to be great.
There's like one thing that you should tell too, that you do like a thing on your Jackson, right? Every time the delete Dallas.
Oh yeah, I do that.
Modifications. Yeah, they also the special modification to all the guitars.
Over the Strat. Oh,
Not Strat.
Now this is the volume. I put the volume knob here and get rid of the tone knob, so I have a tone knob delete. But I moved this back here because when I'm picking, that shit's in my way. And it's one of the things that I hate about a lot of what a lot of guitar manufacturers do. Now they'll put that thing like right here. Like, dude, I'm gonna be like constantly banging into that thing and turning myself down. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Let's put it back here, which is easy to do. It's very easy to do. I actually need to go ahead and put a video. I actually did a video of me doing the modifications. For that, you know, I changed out the pickups. I do the mod. And then the strap button, I just moved to right here because they from the factory they put it over here. It's a V, so it doesn't have a lot of headstock dive. It's actually pretty balanced, but that was just very strange to me. So I just drilled a hole in the neck plate, and and there you go. And then now it's a Dallas Solar Wave machine. It's all frets are really nice. They've been dressed. The thing plays like total butter, man. And I actually just did a full deep clean on these because after the tour they were really disgusting. See how shiny it is now?
Yeah.
It did not look like that on the tour.
That's rad, bro. I enjoy a musician who literally wants to fine tune. And you guys all do it. You guys all were like, oh, the knob needs to be moved 3 inches away because of my hand specifically. And then you execute and you make that happen and you make this custom thing. I love that the drive to play it the way you want to play it makes you guys make these little adjustments that, I'm in automotive, so car manufacturers, they just make one kind of car, but sometimes you want to modify it too, you want to make it your own. And yeah, I love that you guys take the initiative and just make it your own. Gilbert's got a whole freaking little workstation that he works on his guitars, dude. It's crazy. He's got a toolbox in that fucking place in that room that I do it from when I'm at his house. And I just love that, dude. It's like tinker with your toys, make them as best they could be.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
it doesn't take much. It actually, it's not that bad, once you get into it. The thing that really freaked me out at first was, doing a setup and adjusting the neck and intonating the guitar. I know how to do for a while, but actually, putting the file to the frets, that was something I was a little bit afraid of. But
right,
I'm pretty happy with what I did with the one guitar, and the other guitar was done by a friend of mine who's been doing it for years, but he kind of taught me some things too. So. Yeah, it's all about acquiring the knowledge, but I've learned a lot from technicians over the years about guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
similar with drums too. Everybody's setup. There's like a bunch of drummers, and everybody's setup is like unique in some way, for sure. I know for like this kid, like every cymbal's like because of like a part in a song that has basically have that note in the song, and you need that note. So I'm gonna get a cymbal.
Do you tune your drums like to notes and stuff?
Not necessarily, but yes. It's like I
never understood tuning drums to notes and how it would work in a song. Like
it's I think it's like a major, chord.
Okay.
If you were hit them all at the same time, it's like a chord. I think it's usually around like the D, like it's usually like their low note. They're like chin chin.
Oh,
chin,
fuck.
chin,
That
chin.
makes all the sense. Jesus.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you do that. I'll just do it real quick. You do the little test. I'm sure it's gonna be out of tune because I haven't tuned these in a while, and I just set them up. It's like. Oh yeah, see, it's out of tune right there. but
Yeah, but it's like a chord though. So
chin,
it's
chin,
so-
chin, 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 chin,
so
or whatever that little.
do you ever make riffs? Or I mean, not riffs, but drum parts based on riffs in the notes that are hitting at the end?
Every time.
Damn, Jesus!
I'm
I didn't even
always
know
trying to
this.
play like the guitar riff with my cymbals.
Well,
Okay.
what
That's
he
just
means
something
is
I've always done.
the matching the notes is I think what he means, not necessarily accenting notes from the toms.
Yeah, taking the notes into account with your drums, like taking the like if it's like you heard a certain kind of like or like a you're like you can like do it somehow, match it up with the drums.
Often, yeah, I try to
Okay,
if
yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never
for
even
sure.
thought of
And
it.
oftentimes, like on the Sex Lies and DNA, there's a part where it's actually during Dallas's solo, where it's not in the release, but you'll see it in my drum playthrough. I like to use the floor tom to match. There's like the background, like the chin 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 chin. It's super subtle, but when it comes in, you're just kind of like you can't help but like just bang your head. So I try and bring that out, and I'm hitting that note with the floor tom, like chin 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 chin.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I'll match fills like Dallas will be like, and I'll be like, with him. It'll try and like do the same thing. All the time. I'm always trying to play like the music with the drums. However, I can.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that's sick. That's smart. I mean, that's very cool to like think about because we're kind of on string like note.
And each cymbal has its own identity too. Like this is like the low main. This is like the higher version of it, and then this is like a mid, and then you have a high China, low China. So you like, like you could make melodies with that. You got the mini. It's like you could do the crash, the 3 crash in a China, or sorry, 3 crash in a China, and then you could do the mini version with the 3 splash in the China. You know what I mean? Like you could do the same riff.
The chat wants you to play something, dude.
Dude,
I don't think you could hear it. It's gonna be a.
Hold on, one sec. I know I did the mic settings. Let me get the mic settings. I get rid of this. Okay, you're good now. You got rid of the echo cancellation and the mic. Background noise.
Oh no, there's pup in here. Here, let me move. Here, give me a couple minutes. I'll play something here in a couple minutes.
All right, we're gonna follow you.
I'm gonna like low key put this pup outside so I don't hurt her.
Oh,
Junie pup. I don't want to blast her. That would suck. I just feel so bad.
What's pup's name? What's pup's name?
But yeah, here in a minute. Yeah.
What's your dog's name?
What's the dog's name?
But yeah, I'll definitely try to play like stuff with the riffs.
I don't think it's a dog. I think he has a bunch of roommates.
Coming back down.
It's a huge rabbit. The biggest rabbit I've ever seen.
All right, I'll show you my version of the intro to Sex, Lies, and DNA.
All right. Fuck yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get a good angle, but maybe you guys can kind of see that.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe over here. Is that better? I don't know. Here.
The first one was better, probably. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's
I guess
fine.
that.
That's fine. That's fine. That's good.
All right. Sorry if I fucked this up.
We'll be quiet,
up, dude.
Like,
yes.
Good stuff.
Hell yeah. It sounded great.
there's the little. Oh, so I'm
The
yelling.
mix was perfect, actually. I
Yeah,
can
that's
hear
great.
everything.
But there's like something for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Awesome. That was sick.
I was ripping.
Did that sound like all blown out or what?
Nah, dude, the mix was actually way more pleasurable than
Oh,
cool. Pleasant than I thought it was.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually the first time I played in
Actually,
like
with,
a while.
With Casey's
Except for
drum,
teaching, but that's like not really like playing. You know what I mean?
Casey's drum teacher was like he plays with Paul Gilbert's drummer, but he was like jamming for a while, and it was like all these things were cutting out, and I just like went and unmuted a bunch of shit, and just like finally came through.
He doesn't play with Paul Gilbert's drummer. He is Paul Gilbert's drummer.
Hey, can you guys turn yourselves back up?
No. I'm just kidding. No.
You probably just blasted your ears.
No, I put the sweat can.
I don't know. Right now.
I don't think anything changed from our end.
The sweat cans.
Yeah, the old.
Oh yeah.
You gotta ring him out, dude. You gotta ring.
I don't know.
Out.
I'm gonna discontinue the cans. I still can't really hear you guys. By the way, is that my phone? Is that on my end?
That's your end. I think that's your end.
Yeah. I put it all back to where it was.
Oh.
Yo.
Anyway.
All right,
Hey, you broke your phone, dude.
God damn it! My phone mic is like, screw you, bro.
Yeah, you broke your phone.
God
Too much metal.
damn it.
God damn it. Shout out to this dude Brian. Me and Leonard chilling. He would always do that. It seemed like the madder he get, the longer it took him to say, like, God damn it.
Speaking of Leonard, dude, what up, dude? When are we gonna get Leonard on, dude? Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's weird. Here I'm gonna, I guess, leave and come back or something. So maybe the mic works or something.
I'm gonna drill him on some Cephalic Carnage.
Settings, audio. Here we go.
He doesn't even know. Hello.
It's so funny that we can hear him.
Oh man.
I'll mute him for now. Oh, we both mute. No, but yeah, getting Leonard on. Every time I see fucking Leonard, it's just like a joke that's hilarious, and that's it. It's like Cephalic. I actually hit up what's his name? Not Josh. Who's the Zach from Cephalic back in the day? Zach, and was like, because he's like, I want to come on. Then he like pulls out last second. He's like, I want to come on. Pulls out. I'm like, dude, we need to get your fucking goddamn story, dude, because I know you have a hectic life and all the fun stuff, and he's one of the main songwriters of fucking Cephalic too. It's like been one of the crazier styles. Did you guys ever, Dallas? You ever tour with Cephalic Carnage?
Did some shows with them back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Milwaukee Metal Fest Relapse stage, because we were on Relapse Records, and that was a good night because I think it was 1999, and they rolled like a huge pinata joint and threw it into the crowd, and it was like full of weed and bongs and shit, and just like,
oh my god.
And you know, he was definitely pro pot, you know, and like he threw that thing out there, and it was funny that there was a lot of people in there, and the whole crowd got really silent because they were just like stuffing shit in their pockets or whatever. They got done with that. Yeah. Then the horns go up. They're like, yeah. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
Those guys are ripping.
Oh yeah.
Rocky Mountain Hydro Grind.
God damn. It's do you plug in your amp?
Rocky Mountain Hydro Grind.
Yeah.
Amp right there. Dallas, you have an amp plugged in? What's going on?
I have it down really low. I'm just kind of doing
Yeah. What do you? So for guitar players out there that like you've gotten a lot of people into like death metal and stuff. So what do you warm up with? What do you work on? Like what's your normal practice routine?
I'm hearing some singing in the background somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just kind of noodling around, but one of the things that I like to do is just like it's called like during the COVID times, or actually right before that, I started taking some guitar lessons. And a teacher showed me a couple of really cool things that I've been practicing ever since, and it makes my life much easier. And it involves cross picking, which means that you're going across like each string. Well, no matter what you're doing, it's up and down. It's alternate picking.
Yeah.
So And then on this hand, you're like
doing like diminished stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Another thing is he showed me how to do a chromatic scale the right way. I see a lot of people not doing this the right way. This is the right way to do it. And I kind of knew the right way to do it, but I didn't really know the right way to do it. And that's instead of, you see people do that and they call it a chromatic scale and they just go straight across like this, right?
Yeah.
That's actually not a chromatic scale. Chromatic means every note between the octaves.
Yeah.
So
you're missing one, right? Yep.
And then, of course, when you get to that point,
go backwards. Yep. Yeah.
So just doing that for a while, doing both of those exercises, outside picking also, which basically means alternate picking. It means
on the outside
picking them. Yeah, you're on the outside of the string no matter what.
Yep. Yeah.
So when you're descending, you need to start with an upstroke, which there was a basic sort of thing that I learned at first, but then I just kind of went nuts with it. And that was all starting with an upstroke, actually. It's alternate picking, but you can do it with a downstroke too.
Do you ever fuck with yourself and just be like, do you ever start an exercise like that and be like, okay, well, I start with an up, so I'm going to try it with a down, and then just basically reverse everything. You know, what every pick that's a down is an up, and every pick that's an up is a down. Yeah,
and that's what ends up actually happening. Like I said, on this one, you can actually do it either way, and that's fine. It's a preference of technique rather than incorrect technique.
Yeah,
but it's still nice to be able to do it all outside picking and starting with an upstroke when you're descending on 6 notes, that kind of thing. Simply because it just teaches your muscles to have the same force on the upstroke as you would the downstroke.
Yeah.
So when it gets into playing anything like that,
yeah,
you instantly notice that your picking is more even in those those kind of situations where it's just like the upstroke has as much significance as the downstroke.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was one of the things that I picked up from those lessons. I actually picked up a lot of shit from those lessons, but that was one of the things that really kind of helped me stay focused and up on my game,
Total. Am I remembering correctly by you saying originally it was down pick only for you?
Yeah, when I started playing guitar, like the first few months, that's all I could do, and I think it was because I had already been playing drums for 4 years, and it was like the ride cymbal. So within the first 2 or 3 months, I had a really mean downstroke.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Like right now, that's actually where I've been kind of stuck. Is like my downs because I have like this a natural twitch. Yeah, I have a natural twitch going down. I've had famous guitar players that are friends and like give me lessons, and they're like, "Oh, you can go down that fast? Just do that." And I'm like, "No, first of all, it's not going to always be like that. Like I want to be able to do the alternate picking thing." And I just I've been actually the band Theory and Practice. I've been really getting down.
They're sick. I like them. Yeah.
Whack. First thing is phrasing. Second thing, it's cool to be able to down pick because sometimes that does sound good.
Yeah.
There's a song that we have called "Return to the Underground" that actually has a down picking section in it.
We should bring that one back.
Fucking dig in on that one. I just love that.
I know. Imagine like if you alternate pick that heavy part, it wouldn't give that vibe at all. It'd just be like a digga dan. It wouldn't give the.
Oh, what are you talking about, man? That'd be a whole new song.
That's what I'm saying. will be double the speed. Yeah, totally.
Makes me want to start jamming.
But there's a lot of people that like will do
Start blasting.
those parts that are down pick. Almost, they just need the down pick. But people, when they don't do the down pick and they do the alternate pick, it kind of just softens it. And there's like not anywhere to put it besides softens it. It just doesn't give the same like. It doesn't have like the drive to it, you know. Like which you know, it's like an old Metallica trick. It's like from early Metallica. Like if they were to down or a alternate pick a lot of those like Master of Puppets things, that'd be completely different. Like people would be like, it's not as cool. You know? Like,
yeah. And then sometimes in the case of some of those slick killer Judas Priest riffs, sometimes they would double pick it and then sometimes they would down pick it.
Yeah.
But like it's sometimes that more like velvety smooth alternate pick like
sometimes it works.
Sometimes it works, but in the case of the say like playing the Puppets riff, now you gotta man the fuck up.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's like doing the 1 foot blast. It's kind of the same idea,
right?
Like I kind of recently started doing, you know, the half-ass 2 footer. Yeah, that's what I always called it anyway. But you know, like I've kind of like let up on the rule. Yeah, but yeah. Have to do it with 1 foot. Then when you do 2 feet, it's actually 16th notes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not like sometimes it's like half triplets, half 16th notes, or somewhere in the middle. It's just sort of fast, you know. And then the blast up top is doing the straight up. You know, like I was always a stiffler. Like if I can go that fast with my hands, like I have to go that fast with my feet as well, just to be like equal. You know.
Yeah.
So that's like my maximum speed is like what all limbs can go together.
So actually, so we have the drum version of the alternate picking. So Kenji, with the bass version, like if you were able to do like for alternate picking on bass or fingering on bass, doing 2 fingers versus 1 finger or something like that. Is there a?
So I don't do the regular bass player finger thing. I thump everything. So that's kind of a bizarre way to play too. Yeah, I actually thump with my hand. So it's kind of like a pick. So basically I can downstroke everything if I wanted to. I primarily alternate because, I mean, there's specific parts that really comes out to be heavier, but a lot of these Narcotic songs are heavy on the tremolo. So I kind of stay alternating. It's very rare where I will just downpick everything.
You be slapping and popping too, or what?
I won't popping. I'm slapping. Not popping.
You slapping, no popping.
I'm just slapping. Yeah, I'm just slapping.
Call me Papa.
Chin, 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 chin.
So that's what your speed pick with is your thumb?
Yeah, I don't do the traditional way. I just like thump everything. I double thump everything. I realize everything comes out more consistent. Like the notes, like everything sounds even. Yeah, it sounds very even.
Yeah.
Whereas when I'm doing it with my fingers, there's certain accents. I mean, I'm sure if I practice it a lot, I mean, I can get rid of that. But it was just a lot easier for me to double thump everything. So that's just what I do.
So your thumb just has like some wicked callus on the tip of it.
I was about to ask. Dude.
My thumb's kind of fucked. It's like, let me see here. My nails all fucked up right now. Yeah. But usually after tour, this side's all black and shit. Yeah.
Do you grow that? Do you leave that nail grown out too, so you got a little extra fucking flick on it?
I don't. No. It's because I haven't played since I came back from tour. I was like taking a rest because I injured my hand. So I'm in.
Oh, that's right. How's your hand, bro?
It's getting a little bit better, but I'm just kind of letting it just because I don't want to get it worse. I'm trying to make sure it's completely okay.
How did you injure it?
I think it's just I don't know, with time. It just feels like I just lost my grip strength. So I've been just taking it easy. So I haven't really been playing if I don't really need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to your nail question, no, I never needed to cut my nails or deal with my son because just me double thumping just slices away. Grinds my nails away.
Oh, it grinds it like Dallas's picks. Dallas,
it grinds it away. I never needed to cut my nail.
Dallas, you have a grinded pick? I remember Matt had.
I have a little bit of a grinded pick. Let's see,
because you do the sharps.
We go up, center it. There you go. He does the sharps.
Yeah. So
I
you use
like
the sharp.
these. Yeah, I've been using these for years. And
How do you hold it in your hand? Is it like a okay?
Kind of like that.
Are you putting just the tip out, like the very tip out there, or are you putting more of the pick out there?
It depends on the part. Sometimes I'm a little more in like that, and then sometimes I kind of do my hand out like that a little bit and go more like this and give more of the edge into it.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I like to turn it in that way.
Yeah, I know.
I really scrape in, you know.
Nice.
It depends on the part. I'm kind of all over the place here, but you know, just staying with that.
I did it last time about your, because you used to do a style that was the Jedi grind, was what we call it in our side of the country, which was you used to pull it over and do this, where you do like hold it like this, like the right. And
I used to do this crazy shit like this.
Oh, this one, yeah.
That's different than Mike. Mike's was
over the top, and same with the Paul from Origins, kind of over. It's like the Jedi grind thing. Yeah, you were up like this. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how I used to do my drums like that.
It's like
you almost play it outward.
It's what I used to call the strong arm technique, where kind of using my whole forearm,
you dress on the bridge
and tricep. Like try to get those 16ths in there.
Yeah.
It was pretty articulate, but I started getting problems with my elbow, and I started. I don't know. I kind of hit a speed cap with it. I think I just, and then once I kind of relaxed a little bit more and actually lowered my guitar so I could get my right arm away a little bit.
Yeah.
And now once I warm up, even at more ridiculous speeds, I can kind of relax.
Is that more in the wrist now?
I guess, but actually the wrist is staying stationary. It's kind of a combination of my wrist and my arm, and still my forearm and my bicep. Like I kind of feel all that in there.
Yeah.
But it's the secret is really the slice of that pick, man.
Yeah.
And actually,
what angle are you going at? Usually there's a pick angle people are talking about a lot nowadays. So is it okay? Okay.
Looks pretty normal.
Yeah, definitely. Up and down. Yeah.
It's not like the crazy, the guy that plays, does that thing.
Yeah.
Of course, it's funny. Sometimes when I'm downstroking, I do kind of like grab it with that one too.
Yeah.
Just because it just keeps the pick from slipping. But on the other stuff, it's just kind of like that.
I remember back in the day as a kid, I used to grab the high E string with my pinky and just like hold on to it for dear life, and then I would just like, that would be like my safe place. I could just grab it's like, all right, you have a point in which where the pick can go from there. But like for my fast tremolo picking, I'll just hook my finger under the E string or on the E string and just like a little bass point. But I haven't done that forever. But I remember like when I was first learning, I was like, this is safe for me. Like I cannot go crazy. I'm stuck to the string, so I have to.
We talk about equipment all the time.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad technique, man. I mean, it does keep that string quiet too when you're not using it.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say we always have the gear talk, but like we don't really talk about this part of it too. We've said many times it's all in the hands, but this is like an charted area really in our podcast, which is
we're breaking it down.
Like it doesn't matter what guitar you're playing, really. It's how you're playing it, and these little details right here, I think we need to dig into more with people, because that's a very specific thing that we just talked about. Would you pick angle? So you're talking about the angle of the string versus how you're downstroking on it.
Well, one reason why I'm breaking this down with Dallas so much is because as a kid, like I was watching Dallas, so I was like, so he's like a big influence on me doing the fast picking, and I was watching you going like this back in the day, like
almost
back
like
in
a violin
video or something like that. Like your hand was like this, and I was like. And all our friends would get together, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, we'd like talk about it and like try to figure it out and like hold the pick like that. And so it's cool to like break it down with you and see how it's progressed, because yeah, when we were kids, that's what we had was like a random video we saw online and put a VHS and caught it or something. You know, it was like certain things, memories like that of me being a child and catching, you know, like a Nile video or catching a suffocation video or catching something like that when I was younger. And really, I was trying to like, all right, well, how do I do? I was like in the middle of like learning how to just, you know, like tremolo pick or speed pick or whatever you want to call it. And like, I was watching you do it and I'm like, okay, he's found the, you got to go this way. Or like,
but really it's all about how it works for you, you know.
I remember asking him last time, he's like,
totally.
I abandoned that shit, like fuck that shit. And I was like, god damn it, Dallas, that's what I've based my whole childhood off of. You know.
Yeah, me too. I've actually went through probably about 2 or 3 picking stances at this point.
Yeah,
the one that I've been with now is probably the one that I've been with for the longest. That flying table technique or strong arm technique that I was using, that came about trying to get those tempos and keep it steady, like palm muted, like zig, 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 for some ripping ease, you know. I really wanted that super rapid. I didn't want to fake it and do, you know, 3s while that's playing 4s or anything. I wanted to really dig in and at least try to get it as close as I could. And that's what kind of led me in that path. And then after a while, well, the drum tempo started going up, and that shit wasn't working. Right, you're going to have to figure out a different way to man up. And basically, I lowered my guitar. I lowered the guitar strap and got my right arm away from me a little bit. And that gave me a little bit more control, and it gave me a little more relaxation. And, you know, like I said, I was fucking my elbow up doing that shit. So
yeah, oh, it makes sense. So
it did sound pretty cool at those tempos. I mean, it is clear and tight. There is control, but it's just really fucked up.
Yeah,
that's trip. That same thing happened to me too. I was kind of playing like just where I would like just kind of like leave my wrist limp and just like kind of shrug my whole body to get the thing, and then like. It like translates to this weird angle on the ride where my wrist was like doing this and just like, and people would watch, and then like I was starting to like get pain in the wrist, so like I had to like relearn, and like I started using like the fingers and like the 3 fingers. It was like a Hannes Grossman video, the hybrid technique or whatever. I started trying to like implement that whole thing. And that kind of helped a little bit to get, because I had a speed cap as well. Like I needed a montage to be able to play this narcotic shit.
Yeah.
Like some of those are pushing, like We Agnostics is like 260 or 260. Is that the one that's 263? I think it is.
I can't remember exactly. But yeah, it's one of the faster ones. I mean,
and it does it for a while. Those little, it's like 16 bars real quick.
Oh yeah, we call those Tom Cruiser blasts. No fills, no nothing. Yeah, no fills, no nothing. Just straight blast. There's always a place and time for that every now and then. Just straight, no fills, no nothing. Just fucking.
Dude, Alcoholic Religious Fanatics, I had to write in a little fill. I'm not even going to lie. I wrote in a fill on Alcoholic Religious Fanatics just for a little break.
Just for a little break, dude.
That's fine.
It's funny. You wouldn't think that's a break. It's like
it's still more 16th notes.
Yeah, but it just like switches to the kick real quick, so my like fingers get a little rest. You know what I mean?
That's a break for him.
Yeah, during
that's my break.
Breathing a couple minutes. I got
cruising.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And it's like the that's my break on the hands, and then it's like the or like the Euro, that one's like that's the break on the feet. So you know you get the break on the feet up here, and then you get the break on the hands up here while your feet are going.
Nice.
But some of the riffs, the D rights aren't like that. They're just like, oh, your feet for the next 2 minutes. Go. I hope you're warmed up already. That's what Dupree said. He's like, man, because we started with, was it Faces of Meth on that tour that Dupree was on? And he was like, man, this is the I hope you're already warmed up set.
Oh yeah.
Well,
man, and we put Victims of the Algorithm second on this last tour. I'm telling you, man, I need to practice that song because we had
sort of mid tempo, but it feels
if it was in the second part of the set, and when the second part of the set, I was like ready because we'd already been playing. But that one, man, playing that one, the second song is a bitch.
Yeah,
man, that's fucking rough.
But that one, and then Sex Lies and DNA. And then that's the kick drum warm up for me.
I'm warmed up by then, yeah.
And then we do, what was it? It was like Introspective or something, right? Or no, wait, it was Delirium Tremens right after that. And so that's the one I'm just like, oh shit, here we go, Delirium Tremens.
Okay. Here's a good question for you guys. So backstage, you guys got 25 minutes to go. What's your warm up? Are you guys just are you sitting there just like Dallas? Are you going just like doing your tremolo picking and doing chromatics and Joseph, are you doing like just like sitting there on a drum pad? And
I'll have a drum pad and I'll just have I'll just either be doing like some like some rudiments or some like double stroke rolls and paradiddle. I was working on my drum solo. I had a drum solo on that one, so I was kind of just working on my rudiments this last time, and the songs, like the way they were set up, Pharmaculture is kind of chill for me. And then Victims of the Algorithms, like the main warm up, and then Sex Lies and DNA is just a bit faster. So it kind of ramps up for me on this last one. Yeah. So I could just kind of practice like my drum solo stuff, like all the rudiments I was trying to do. I was trying to incorporate like everything I know into one solo because, it takes them like a minute.
Yeah.
But that's like a long minute for me.
Yeah.
When it comes to drum soloing, I can't just spam just like the 2 and 4 on the snare and kick. So can't just spam that the whole time. Yeah. I got to do some paradiddle diddles, and I got to do some single double doubles, and I got to do all the things. I got a 10-stroke roll thing I work on. I use it for. Like instead of double stroke rolls, it like transposes into triple stroke rolls real easy. And so I could do like a or whatever off of it.
Do you look at rudiments on like do you look at rudiments and just like sit there and work on them, or do you just have them in your head?
They're just in my head. I also teach kids, so like my warm up is like single stroke roll, then double stroke roll, then a paradiddle, then like a triple paradiddle, all without stopping.
Okay.
And I can make the littlest kid do that shit, and they'll do it. Yeah. We'll do it super slow, but we'll do it, and then I'll build the tempo gradually. Like I'm always like trying to think of cool things to show homies, and then I learned some cool tricks from a bunch of homies on drums. I always try to ask, like, what's up, Me and Nate Bigelow were sitting in Boise, Idaho. Shout out to the Brogalo. Jared.
What up?
Yeah, nice. We were doing rudiments on the tour. I tried to get Eric Marotti to do some rudiments, but we were just kind of party mode instead. And then these old ladies were doing some, well, not old, like older ladies were doing like rudiments. They were trying to like it was kind of funny, like getting everybody hyped up before we played, and then the amp went out, and then we like fuck.
Yeah, we played anyways.
And then we blasted. That was cool, like seeing the hand gestures and shit from Dallas.
Yeah, man.
I never seen you like
all of a sudden I'm like
curl up and just be like.
Oh yeah, you have free hands and shit. You're like,
like he's always got it in his hand. He's always just like, the fastest pick in the West.
Yeah, how was that to come with a guitar? Because I know that watching John Gallagher do a Suffocation run.
I saw that too.
Just seeing that that he's supposed to have a guitar in front of him, but like he was like doing things, but like that like he's just trying to get used to not having a guitar to play in front of him, and just like how do you like coming out of that and having to be like, all right, my hands are free. Well, what the fuck do I do now? You know, like to me, it sounds like almost a nightmare to just like have to like your hands are free now. Like shit, what do I do with?
Dude, I can't even imagine, bro. I did vocals only one time for a show, or 2 times, and I didn't know what the hell to do with myself either, dude. I was just kind of, you know, just standing there headbanging all dumb. I felt like.
No, I got to do a God forbid for Suffocation once in Pennsylvania, and I was like, they like handed me a mic. I'm like, God damn! I was like drunk, and I was like, well, I'll do it, but I don't know. And like come out here and do the God forbid, and I was like, well, fucking, I love Suffocation, so I'm like, I'm just doing like I don't even know what to do with my hands. I'm just like God.
Oh yeah, you got to do the Suffo thing, bro.
I know.
Yeah, the Frank chop, Frank chop right here.
So I was like,
Frank chops. Yeah, I like it.
I don't want to like combat Frank with my own chop. You know, like I have to do my. I don't know. It was just like a weird thing for me to have like be a person that plays an instrument and have to go on stage and have a mic. And I was like, oh shit, I have this free thing.
We always set up a mic for him to do backing vocals for me live, and he would never do it.
I did it like 7 times, dude. It's not a big deal.
Just like 3.
Yeah, I like backing vocals. I like doing backing vocals.
Yeah.
Like I love harmonies. Like I'm a sucker for like vocal harmonies. Even like dude, more like Crosby, Stills, and Nash though.
Okay.
Or like Bowie always had some of the sickest harmonies. And then harmonies like on like Yes too, of course.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. They should have changed their name to Hell Yes.
Hell yeah.
Do you guys like choir music? Do you guys like choir music?
Yeah. What?
Do you guys like listening to choir music? Like just
sometimes, voices? But not typically.
I don't really,
dude.
I have like I have some on this playlist. I have this playlist that I just like every time I hear a song I like, I just throw it on this playlist. It's like up to like 210 hours of music now with no repeats.
Nice.
But like so yeah, there's some of that on there, but
I don't know.
Music that scares the shit out of me is you guys ever do any like deep diving into castratos where they cut off dudes' balls?
Oh, that shit's weird. Yeah,
no,
that's the
there's
Italians,
one
right?
recording. There's one recording of this Italian singer. It's a boy, like some 20-year-old dude, and they cut off his balls.
They
so
would cut your balls off to keep your voice high.
Yeah. So
the choir boys.
Yeah. It's called a castrato, like being castrated.
Your name has to do with your balls being chopped off.
Yeah, and it's like one of the most eerie things I've ever heard in my life. And I just put it on.
Wow.
I just had to readjust my balls as we're talking about this right now.
No,
yeah, I think I did too. I like
scary thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like no horror film music or anything will ever fuck with me as much as a castrato guy singing. Just like hearing the reason why his voice is that high is because they were like, cut your nuts off. And then
that is some creepy shit.
That's rough.
Yeah.
No, but like
balls dropping way too low.
Like Bulgarian female.
Fuck religion.
I know, right?
Yeah, dude. I don't even think that's like even more morbid than religion. Like castrate, like they just
it probably comes from the top
skin.
Of religion.
They're literally taking off testicles, dude. Testes.
It's like no, make your fucking choir the sickest, dude. Do whatever you gotta do. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, that's like, we're literally saying like as a child,
all in the name of rock and roll. God damn,
is, dude, that's so fucking crazy though. For like, how insane are the adults that see a child that has a good voice that they're literally gonna alter this person for the rest of their life?
North Korea does shit like that, but anyways. Because have you seen their shredding guitar player? They do stuff where they're like,
kids.
So what, they're clipping nuts so they can shred, or what, dude?
No, they're like threatening him with the clip, like, dude, hit that arpeggio, dude. All right,
you can do it better.
Yeah, but no, go back to the original question. So, Dallas, like
harmonies.
Like getting rid of the guitar, being a front man.
Oh yeah.
How do you like with your hands? Like, what's your go-to when your guitar just went down? Like,
I would love for him to say air guitar.
Or do you do a Ryan James Dio?
I would love to do if it was him just air guitaring, dude.
Well, no. Actually, what happened was, because this happened to me a couple of times over the years, where for some reason or other your guitar just goes down, you have no signal. So the show must go on. Sometimes you just set it on the drum riser, but I instantly grab the mic from the mic stand and get that thing out of my face, and then just start screaming at people and staring at them.
Directly.
Yeah. Or, and then, of course you got to do the thing with the hand. And I actually got down on one knee and was at the edge of the stage screaming.
Yeah, it's like a vulture, bro. It's sick.
That's awesome.
I saw videos of it later. I was like, damn, he's a big old boy, isn't he? Shit.
Yeah, it's like you're a big ass vulture up there, just like fucking preying on fools in the audience.
Then finally they got my guitar back. It was something wrong with my cabinet. I still have not investigated it yet. I'm sure it'll be an easy fix, but the cabinet that they did give me, it worked, but it sounded like complete shit.
Yeah. Yep.
But at least I could hear the shit. Yeah. It was probably much worse at that point than I was making it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
But just like from what it was to like what it became, you're like, I know the difference. Something's off here. Like,
I was just proud of us for staying on target and still doing a pretty badass show despite a couple of songs with me as just the vocalist. Which actually, to answer the question fully, it was at that moment of time liberating. I'm never going to get this chance again.
Yeah. Would you ever consider like being a singer of a band? Would you ever consider like just going up there and
dude,
like,
your vocals
free? Because I know you're like I said, like what Anthony's about to say, your vocals have been very like influential in a lot of people's lives.
They're very, very powerful,
unmistakable too.
Yeah, I know exactly. The fucking Dallas,
like you could instantly tell, oh, that's Dallas as soon as you hear it.
Yeah.
I love playing the guitar.
You definitely.
So I would probably more go towards the guitar than just doing vocals, but. If I could sing for instance, like Laurel Dane could sing, then fuck yeah, I would totally do it.
Yeah. Nevermore?
But I don't. Yeah. Actually, Sanctuary, my favorite.
Sanctuary. Okay.
My favorite of it, which I love Nevermore too. I mean, it was anything bad. I was really crucial to the Sanctuary records, all three of them actually.
Okay.
Well, I mean, are you open to like guest
spots? I wish I could sing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's on some guest stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
done some guest stuff over the years for sure. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm down to do it. I actually have a couple of lesson slots open if somebody wanted guitar lessons.
That's a great. So in the beginning when we're talking about like plugging stuff, like we always forget.
Oh yeah.
A lot of musicians like Joseph, you said you're doing drum or rock school.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll do lessons too. We could do Skype lessons and shit.
This is like what feeds most like people that are playing music as lessons, and like we always skip. We're like, dude, merch, dude. Do you want to make $2 off of a shirt, or do you want to actually teach a lesson?
One of the greatest times in history because the access to guys like these guys is a click of a button. Now,
one of the major pluses of COVID is like it's opened up this Zoom. Let's just like fucking jam together and be across the world, and like a lot of people have done this
3-hour chat.
Yeah, they're struggling musicians. They're like, we got to figure it out, and it was like Zoom and doing like lessons over online with people that you have looked up to, and it's like so okay. First, we'll go Dallas. How do we get a hold of you if you want to have a lesson with you?
Basically, you can write me an email to narcoticwasteland@hotmail.com, or you can just hit me up on any of the social media messages.
Okay.
I'll be able to respond to it, no problem. And the fun thing about all that is I've given lessons on and off like over the years since very, very young, and it's just kind of fun because you get to connect with other musicians and stuff. Of course, I mean, for the most part, like I would have to say that I've been pretty lucky as far as my students, the ones that come in and get lessons from me, they're usually already pretty good. So it's not like you're, teaching someone
Mary had a little lamb.
Yeah, where they're just like completely lost, or you're teaching someone and you can tell week after week after week they have
no progress. Yeah.
And it's just because they didn't practice. So,
But
it's fun to do it, and I limit my time with it. Like with the right student, that's why I only limit it to just a few students. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I actually have a couple of slots open right now.
Oh yeah.
So if somebody is interested, then yeah.
When you teach lessons and you see the student progressing week by week too, that's probably what makes you guys keep teaching. Because you get that one or two students.
Yeah, it's
like,
sick.
dude, I'm actually watching this person,
and you're the reason why they're
evolve.
progressing.
Yeah, you're the ones planting the seeds that they take home, and then they go actually hone their craft at home, and then bring it back to you, and you're like, oh shit,
we got one. Where can I get pricing for lessons available?
Boom. Texas Wildflower
666. Just hit us up. What do you play?
Probably flute, but she wants to learn how to shred though.
That's D. Yeah, that's Dallas.
No, that's
Kenji. You do lessons on bass or what?
It's funny that you asked me that because just the other day someone asked me for lessons, and I've been asked to give lessons multiple times, but I can't. And the reason why is that, I can't because I play the chapstick.
No, it translates. I'm sure it translates, right?
It's a unique instrument, and what I can teach is another person who happens to play the chapstick. But
you could pull out you could have a $200 4-string and just be like,
So my bass is very, very different from a regular bass. So me teaching someone, it's going to be not going to translate well. Plus, my argument's always been, I'm kind of self-taught too. I for chapstick specifically, I taught myself how to play because there's no one else that really played that instrument. I just kind of have to figure it out on my own. Yeah. But for bass, there's just so many resources out there, and just like anything, I figured out how to build my own computer through YouTube. I figured out how to fix stuff on YouTube. So similar way, whenever I'm asked, I always say, hey, there's a bunch of resources online on YouTube. So, that's where you should go, to be honest. There's so many players that are way better than me that can teach you something that's much more fundamental and helpful.
So what you're saying though is you have a very, I would say avant-garde style of bass, and some people are out there trying to do something different, and there's people that would be like, I want to know what he's doing. Yeah.
If it's more like they want to figure out what I'm doing and trying to get inspired from that, sure, but lessons specifically, I don't want to take money from somebody when they're not really progressing in their instrument, because I'm playing a unique instrument. I have a unique style that I play that works specifically to my instrument. So if I'm taking their money and their time, and they would just kind of confused even more, like what was that about?
That's fair.
He's taking logic over capitalism. I like it.
That's fair, yeah.
He's like, I don't know if this is going to be a fair trade because
exactly.
I have a certain way of looking at it.
I just feel bad. I just feel bad for something like that. Plus,
you're a sweetheart. You're also a sweetheart. People will learn a lot off you without you, they don't necessarily need to know that you don't need to have a confirmation that you're teaching them something new. But if they watch you play, they might get one idea from you. And then it goes into another idea, and then goes, it could start.
So that's the thing. If they want is inspiration, and they're kind of curious about my instrument and my playing style, no problem. But if it's like lessons, I feel like that's something very specific, and they want to learn specifically on bass. So that's why.
Because you found a new realm to venture into, and that's where a lot of people don't venture into. They're kind of like, I'm a bass player. This is what I do. Blah blah blah. It's so. Hit up Kenji on Instagram for lessons. He's available.
Unless you happen to be the only other person in the world that has another stick, then I can teach you.
It sounds more like hit up Kenji if you want a philosophical perspective on.
If you want to get inspired, or if you want to just kind of
your instrument, because you can definitely. He's showing that you can branch out of the norm and find something that's more specific to your liking.
Probably one of my favorite things that you've said, Kenji, is I'm going to hold on to this. Is you going, because there's a lot of the bass players, and there's Colin from Behold Octopus. There's a lot of these people that have these extended range basses, and I'm noticing, all these bands, all these gent bands, they're getting into the 8-string, 9, like I said earlier, they're venturing into bass territory like freely, like fuck it, like fuck the bass. You're like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna go into your fucking treble clef.
That's why I've been telling people, that eventually in the future of metal, we're gonna switch places. What's gonna happen? Like guitar's gonna be playing the low end, and bass is gonna be playing the high end. That's what's gonna happen.
That's gonna be a band already. I'm sure that's
gonna be a band. That's hilarious.
It's gonna be one guy playing a extended range bass guitar and with a kick pedal on, and just like vocals, and it's just over. It's a one-man band. But no, that's very cool, man. I really like the because it's like my whole life has been like, down tuning, getting lower, adding a string, getting lower, adding another string, getting lower, adding another string, getting low. It's like just venturing. It's basically like going towards like fuck bass, fuck bass, and you're like fuck you, fuck you.
The low guitar string is like a bass string, basically.
Oh no, the 9 string is like what's a 9 string
basically
tuned to? It's like it's a bass. It's probably like a D string of a bass now. It's like
it's like too much. Like I know that Meshuggah, like the bass tunes to the guitar, or they're in the same register. So it's like it's like it sounds heavy, but I mean, it's like at that point, like why?
Are you necessary? yeah. That's cool. Establishing dominance.
For Narcotic Wasteland, what I've always liked, even pre-Kenji, is that the bass players would have at least a 5-string. And you have to remember that, we're in basically E flat or D standard, which is pretty not too far from standard tuning.
Yeah.
Straight up. So having that lower string while the guitar is in the guitar range makes sense. Yeah. Especially if what if I didn't want to tune this thing down to A? Well, I can still make it sound that way if you have 5-string bass, if I'm playing a chord like this.
Yeah.
Those big, bulky bar chords, I'm playing like that, and he's on the bottom string of that low octave. The bass being the bass. Let the bass be the bass, let the guitar be the guitar. You're actually achieving all those same voices and stuff, and you don't have to tune your guitar down to J.
Yeah, I know that's what Vinyl Maya does. I know Marco Kubo plays a 6-string, and like the bass player plays the low 5th to complete the chord.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that, completing the chord and stuff, like having like a full chord with the bass and like completing that. And I love having that like low bass note above the higher guitar note that kind of like just adds like a fucking oomph to it. You know what I mean? And that's really cool. Like, but when the guitar keeps fucking trying to get lower and you're tuned to, like you said, like Kenji, you're E flat right now, but like a octave below normal E flat for a guitar.
Yeah, so I never. Yeah, it's pointless for me to play that. I never play that open string.
Only cats and dogs can hear it. You're like,
only cats. I'm playing your dolphins. It's my audience is dolphins for that. But yeah, it's like the only way I utilize it at that part is just for the capos, and even then it's just ridiculous on the low end. Like I very rarely use it.
Dallas, what are you doing over there, dude? I can hear you working on something.
Oh yeah, no, I was just
It
sounded like he was clipping something.
Right. Yeah, you can't have fingernails if you play guitar.
Yeah, I was just I was just noticing that, and it's like one of my things. I was like, shit.
When you fret something and like your pinky is like it's like causing a buzz, you're like, God damn, where's my fucking nail clippers?
Yeah, and it's like I don't bite my fingernails. So what'll happen to me is one day I'll just pick up my guitar and I'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
Yeah, why can't I hit
this? Fucking do this. And then I'm like, oh, I need to trim my nails.
Yeah, exactly. Well, fuck, we're 3.5 hours in, guys, and I really am stoked. This was sick.
Yeah, I had a great time tonight, guys.
Kenji, Kenji, you cracked me up with the what was the Chuck Schuldiner?
Schuldiner.
That was fucking hilarious. That
was a good clip.
I literally was like, it was Schuldiner forever for us, and then
Yeah.
you're like, is it? And you asked us, and we're like, oh, maybe. I think I've heard that, and I was kind of confused. I was like, maybe I've heard that. Then you got the guy from, or was that you that got the Asphyx guy?
Dude, he's from
The guy from Asphyx or something?
Autopsy.
Oh yeah,
Autopsy.
yeah. So he's like,
Right.
they all live. It's kind of funny how we're like your neighbor is literally Chris Wrightford from Autopsy. You know, it's like it's just bizarre. I just happened to talk to him about it, and I asked him because everyone around me said Schuldiner, 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 and then Nate from Gonzalez was like, what did they say? Schuldiner, and I was like,
That's what I
what's the right
heard.
way? Yeah, so I asked Chris, and he's like, no, it's Schuldiner, and he's like, oh, everyone's wrong.
Damn.
Because you brought it up and you were pretty serious about it. Like, isn't it Schuldiner? And I was like, yeah, no, yes, I don't know. Like, I didn't have any idea. And then you put that video.
Yeah,
of
we
the
got to
dude, and I
change the
was
way
like,
we say
oh.
it, dude.
You know,
That kind of thing can happen. That reminds me of Neil. Actually, it's Neil Peart.
Neil Peart. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Always
Instead of Neil Peart. Yeah.
It's
It was
Necrophagus too.
Oh yeah, we said that last time too. Necrophagus.
That's how you
No.
I know, dude. It's fucked up.
Necrophagus is how I
Oh man, I
because
should
I
be
toured with
laughing
them
at
and
that.
I was like, Muhammad, how do you say this? He's like, it's a Necrophagus, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go Phagus for American culture and stuff, you know, like I'm not trying to get me in trouble or anything. And actually, it's Anthony came up to me and was like, dude, Necrophagus is so good, dude.
I did not say
Necrophagus.
Yeah.
dude.
Damn
it. Dude.
He's
I
mixing
remember
that up. You were mixing that one up with Capharnaum. I used to say Capharnaum instead.
Well,
of
I think it was you said
Capharnaum.
Necrophagist. But anyways,
No, I did not fuck that.
you're
name up,
legendary for those.
So how do you pronounce
I
the
know,
band
yeah.
name? How about this band name? Samhain.
dude. Samhain.
How you spell it?
Yeah.
I need spelling.
Everybody calls it Samhain,
Oh shit!
Oh.
but it's actually
Oh, man.
pronounced Samhain.
Wow. See, that's exactly
Yeah.
how I said it the wrong way.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I'm full of the wrong names, guys.
This podcast is awesome. We're all learning something today.
Man,
Yeah.
if we
I
can just
guess,
give
yes.
shout out to Thin Lizzy.
There's
Shout
it's
out.
Stein, you know, it's Thine Lizy.
Stein Lively.
Fine, lively.
Didn't it used to be Tin Lizzy?
File line it. File in it.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
recently learned it's not a band, but Neanderthal, not Neanderthal.
I heard that one.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I know.
It's like, why the fuck is the H there the whole fucking time then?
It's funny because you kind of want to stand by your guns, like whatever, dude. I know it's that way, but it's Neanderthal, dude. I'm not changing it.
Yeah. It sounds cooler as Neanderthal anyways.
When someone's like,
It's,
dude, I
it's Neanderthal, you fucking Neanderthal.
oh my god.
All right, let's
Like,
end it on that one, guys.
yeah. It's
On
good.
that bombshell. Not to sound like Jeremy Clarkson.
Dude, again, this was awesome, guys. You guys are all rad as fuck. I love you guys. Thank you so much for
Likewise, bros.
dude.
I love you too, man. Fuck yeah.
Cali Death.
Yeah, let's keep in touch for sure. And
Hell yeah.
let's
And
do,
Hail Satan.
we'll do a part Hail Satan for sure, dude. And Kenji, I'd like to have you on for a solo episode so we can finally dig in on you, dude.
Talk about the bass and stuff. Yeah, sure. I'll try to beat my record again. What was it? A month since last time I was out here?
Yeah.
Next week.
You're actually being slowly rolled into a host.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just here all the time.
Tune in next week.
Exactly.
Oh, cool, dudes. Let's roll through the fucking plugs real quick again. BattleForgeCoffee.com. Oh, shit. Nope.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go with GeneratorRehearsalStudios.com first because that's the one I was ready with.
I'm gonna go back.
Jam your ideas out down there in SoCal. CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com. Buy a couple t-shirts from us, please. And BattleForgeCoffee.com. Buy your coffee there. Thank you. And you guys, NarcoticWasteland.com, you said, was the hub?
Yep. That's
The
it.
main hub. You'll find all the goods pertaining to Narcotic Wasteland there. And everybody, please have
hit us up for lessons.
Hit these guys up for lessons.
Social media is cool.
Mainly Kenji. Everyone hit up Kenji.
Hit up Kenji for bass lesson now.
The bass philosophies, dude. But yeah, have a killer weekend, and we'll see you next week as always.
Late.
All right. Peace.